Share it to a million different places.
Shit. And also, yeah, Miami Marlin.
What's up? Interesting. Oh yeah, Tim, I think my buddy's gonna edit that video. He just didn't get a chance to do it yet.
What video?
The intro. We're gonna keep the horror intro, but Dave's gonna edit out the Halloween special part just so we can do it every week.
I'll put it like sports shit or try to.
I don't know. I didn't really even think of anything extra. I just thought if you just cut out the part that says like Halloween special or something like that, like we would just keep it the way it was. I'll work on something with him eventually, but just for the time being, I figure we'll keep that. When I get some more free time, I'll like cut up clips and shit to have him throw in there.
Played a new Call of Duty. What do you think?
It's not bad. I played it a little bit. I haven't played as much as I want, but it's good so far.
Just dropped today.
Yeah, the new
So
season.
play that.
I think Joe said like 2 new maps came out today or
Dude,
something
there's
like
so
that
many
too.
fucking levels to level your guns. Like
It's ridiculous. And like some of it's like you have to
go unlock another gun.
You have to use a different gun that you don't normally use. It's such fucking bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking About Balls. I'm Justin George, joined as always by Kyle Price and the man in the middle, Timbuktu, the cream to this Oreo sandwich right here. Our boy, the ladies love him. We love to laugh with him. That's our man. Look at him. It's like he's sitting right next to me. Yeah, look at that. We have the whole gang back together today. We are happy to have Kyle back from Vegas. He survived.
I did survive, barely, but I'm here. My liver did not. My liver was still behind in Vegas right now.
He lost his liver and luggage.
It's crazy.
That's rough. Yeah, welcome to Talking About Balls, though. We are here. We are going to talk about how shitty it is to be a Cleveland sports fan right now because things are not going great. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not fun. It's been a rough, 2 weeks, give or take? I mean, the Cavs are on a long losing streak. The Browns had a bye, came back and got embarrassed. Guardians haven't played in a month and a half or whatever. It's just not a fun time to be a Cleveland sports fan right now.
There's really not much going on in Cleveland to be excited about.
No, not at all. There is. It's the Deshaun Watson return. That's
practice.
it. That's all I have. I mean, even then, he's coming back in 2 weeks after 2 more games I have to suffer through with. I don't want to say suffer because Jacoby Brissett deserves all the credit in the world. He's played very well, but
I mean,
I'm excited to see a franchise
being
quarterback.
a backup, he's done
great for a backup
for
quarterback.
what we want.
That just shows you again how great Kevin Stefanski is. He makes backup quarterbacks look like fully functioning NFL, sometimes debated franchise quarterbacks.
It'd be great if he could make the rest of his team
Wrongly
look like
so.
a fully functional NFL team.
Nick Chubb. He's got Nick Chubb. That's all he cares. Quarterback, Nick Chubb. That's all Kevin Stefanski needs to worry about, especially according to Browns fans. You ask any Browns fan, that's all the Browns need is Nick Chubb. So I think Stefanski's doing something right. Nick Chubb's arguably the best back in football.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's something.
Well, I think even Derrick Henry said that Nick Chubb's the best running back.
He did. Yeah, the Monday night game, they were like, Derrick is the best running back in football. He's like, whoa, that's Nick Chubb. And they're like, all right, you come correct when you talk about Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Cavs started off 8-1, and then the last 4 games they've been closer games. They haven't been blowouts, but still, it's just been.
Yeah, it's still been bad. I mean, we'll talk about that a little more in depth, but we're going to start off on a positive note.
Positive notes.
Positive note. We have one.
We have one. Okay, we have one positive thing to talk about.
That's literally it. We have one. It's Tito Francona, Manager of the Year.
Coach of the Year. Coach of the
He's
Year.
the best coach in Cleveland.
Best coach in Cleveland.
Manager of the Year, though, he wins it. Obviously, the Guardians really overachieved this year.
That's putting it mildly.
And, for all the shit that I talked about the team, and I wanted to make sure I got this point across. So good thing I'm getting it out now before I forget. Nothing against Tito Francona. I love that guy. I think he's the best manager in baseball history, in my opinion. What he can do with the team is fantastic. The way he can take this young Guardians roster and he makes them a contender year after year. And the players.
Yeah.
No ill will towards the players from my perspective. Some guys are not good, like Austin Hedges, automatic out. You've got Miles Straw, automatic out. I don't even fault those guys for the fact that they're only here because the Dolans have a tight pocketbook.
Right.
And that's what really irritates me with Tito Francona. Great manager. This is his, 3rd Manager of the Year award, 2nd with Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got 1 in Boston.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Yeah.
He's obviously great if they threw a little bit of money. And I'm not saying go crazy and give somebody go get a Bryce Harper or a Manny Machado or even pay Lindor the $300 million, whatever. All I'm saying is if they gave our front office, who is clearly really good at what they do, they're very good at their jobs, finding talent, getting the most out of players. Imagine if they had a little bit of money to spend on that. They could then take the next level to get even better players.
How do you think he'd coach the Yankees roster? What do you think he'd do with that roster?
I think he would manage them very well.
But no, seriously, though, you're right. Though, if you gave him just a little bit more of an oomph, like a little boost to the payroll, some more all around good players, not just one sided. Like you mentioned, Straw, like horrible at the plate,
but Gold Glove center
fielder. So you're giving him this half and half players, and he's makes
the most out of it.
You know?
He truly makes, as the saying goes, he's making chicken salad out of chicken shit, as the saying goes. That's exactly what Tito Francona does with this roster, and he's great. That's why he won the award.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. I think he kind of called this a couple months ago that he deserved to get it because
I said it. Yeah, if they make the playoffs, he's a lock.
So many call ups and so many send downs, so many changes from AAA to MLB to what he's dealing with. I mean, what he had to deal with day in and day out, the rosters he had to put together. I mean, it's amazing that they won what they won with what he had. And I mean, the only consistent was, Ramirez. And then you had just all these just players who were the solid, he's hitting in that spot. He's there every day. He's in that position every day. Everything else was kind of like a crapshoot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a baseball fan, but I'm not a diehard. And even me, when we called up Stephen Kwan, everybody should remember this. I didn't know his name. I literally forgot his name. I'm there's some Kwan guy who's playing left field that Tito's kind of hyping up a little bit. This was the day the season was starting, and I didn't even know who he was.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's honestly what I did. It was the beginning of Major League. We were like, who the fuck? I had no clue, and he came out and played great. We had the record for the most rookies to win the division.
Yeah, we're the youngest team in baseball still.
And that's all a testament to Tito, the way he was able to turn these young kids into professional baseball players
Mhm.
in a season, during a season too, because a lot of these guys were called up while it already started.
Right.
So it's not like he had all off season to get to know them and to gel. All of spring training, this was kind of like, fuck it, let's see what happens. And as we went along, we made some changes. And again, I don't blame the players. I don't blame, obviously, I love Tito. But I just imagine if this front office, or if the owners gave the front office a little bit more to work with,
And now
we're
we,
clearly a championship contender.
and now we have this team. Pretty much, I understand it's all coming back. There's nobody we're losing. You just have to. Hope
I mean, some, not
and pray.
nobody big. I mean, Austin Hedges is a free agent, so they're either going to have to replace the catcher, or we're going to be going with Bo Naylor,
right.
who's going to be a young guy
Well,
that you
Bo
just.
He's been doing great, and
He was good in the minor leagues
yeah,
for sure.
He's done well. I think he might be a decent midseason call up potentially, or you.
I mean, he was on the
We'll
he was on the
see.
big league roster for most of last year. He'll probably just stay.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's our starting catcher, truthfully, because we don't have
that's-
anybody
that's
else.
a position we need help at. So,
Yeah, Austin Hedges is a free agent. I doubt they bring him back.
do you think the Dolans spend a little bit of money next year? I mean, the one person I think we both kind of talked about it was what's his face from New York potentially coming here. I know if they wanted to throw money at him. Dude from Chicago went to the Cubs. Went to the
Oh,
Yankees.
Rizzo, he just signed.
Rizzo.
He stayed.
I know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying. That was the one person I thought maybe, just maybe, they could throw some money at.
I mean, we need a DH. We need a legitimate DH. So
Yeah.
this is a situation where you look at somebody that's kind of older. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't even know. Like, I just remember, I don't want this guy by any stretch. Let me preface with that. But I saw Matt Carpenter is a free agent who was basically the first guy off the bench for the Yankees. They call him out in clutch situations. He had a lot of home runs last year by only batting maybe once a week.
Right. What's Puig up to? We can bring him back.
I think he is a used car salesman in the Dominican right now. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think he's going to be coming up to play in the majors anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, again, could be anybody. We could make a trade. There were a ton of trades today, trades yesterday by the Guardians, which we'll talk about later. I just wanted to start the show on a positive note, though, and talk about Tito.
It's all downhill from here, folks.
And then, yeah, now the snow is falling and it is downhill. We are going into the sad part. We're going into the upside down.
Let's just jump right into the upside down right away.
Let's do it. The Browns. All right, we got to talk about it. It was fucking embarrassing. It was a shitty game. It was really bad.
I had a great time during this game though, because I don't remember watching much of it. So
I had a great time for like the first half.
yeah,
First half was really cool. I remember being excited. We got the touchdown right away. We stopped him on a fourth down drive.
a
I'm
well
like,
scripted first
I'm
drive.
like,
you know what
fuck
I'm saying?
yeah.
That's weird.
I'm yelling in my basement. I'm excited, and then all the fun was just gone. It was just sucked out of the room. I just sat there quietly. Even Tara, eventually, she's like, "How'd the Browns do?" Because she's like, "You're not making any noise down here." I'm like, "That's exactly how it went."
Oh, I thought she was probably being a smart ass.
No. She literally just
she
asked,
knew
like,
that the Browns were horrible and just asked.
no, she just randomly, when I came upstairs to like go to the bathroom or grab food or whatever, she's like, "How'd it go?" I'm like, "How do you fucking think? We got destroyed."
Dude, the amount of run lanes that the Miami Dolphins offensive line opened up was, I could have got positive yardage that day. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
our run defense was olaying every fucking thing that was
And-
going on.
and let me start this by saying, first off, the Dolphins are no joke. There's a lot of people that saw us get embarrassed by them, and they're acting like we lost to the Dolphins of like 5 years ago, or a few years ago that weren't very good. This Dolphins team is 7-3 now. They obviously have one of the best dynamic offenses in football. Their defense is kind of shitty, and then they have Mike McDaniel, who came from San Francisco. This is another thing where I had a lot of people texting me, and they're like, "Why does our run defense look like this? This is embarrassing." And I'm like, "Yes, it is." But remember, Mike McDaniel was the run game specialist for San Francisco,
Mhm.
who's known for having great running games. That guy knows what he's doing. He literally looked at our defense and said, "Their run defense isn't good. This is how we're going to expose it." And they fucking exposed Joe Woods' defense.
Yeah, but we still should have had a better chance at slowing this team down a little bit, especially with
I mean-
the defense we played the last 2 weeks coming into this.
But this week, you got to take into consideration how many guys were out. I mean, our linebackers, there were guys I literally looked at and went, "Who the fuck is that?"
Oh, we're back to this again. So-
Truly. I mean, besides Taki and Deion Jones, who Taki is a career backup, and he should be that way. He's a special teamer at best. Sione Taki was one of our starters because of injuries. Deion Jones, he's been playing well. I mean, he's making tackles, doing what you ask of him for a 7th-round trade that we made. So nothing crazy there. Then we had another guy playing. I want to say he was like number 41. I really don't even remember what the fuck his number was.
Unknown player.
Unknown guy. He's out there on almost every snap. I remember somebody tweeted who our linebackers were on one play that we got destroyed, And everyone's like, no wonder we're getting killed. Like, that's who we have to put out there at linebacker. We have nothing but bums. Defensive tackle, obviously, that was the thing we talked about well into in the beginning of the offseason. If we didn't make the Deshaun Watson trade, I wanted, what's his name, Jordan Davis from Georgia, who he's hurt right now, but when he's healthy, is the run-stopping defensive tackle for Philadelphia that we could have used. We didn't really address the position that well. And we talked about it all offseason of like, defensive tackle, you need to get somebody to help out Myles Garrett. And Andrew Berry didn't do that. So that's on him.
I just can't. I for sure thought that we would address that maybe during the trade.
Yeah.
But I guess they saw nobody out there that was worth going after or signing. Because there's a lot of defensive tackles out there we could have brought back. Sheldon Day we could have brought back. We could have brought him in. We could have gone after
Sheldon
Richardson. Richardson, sorry. We could have brought Sue in.
Sue's available
but
still.
The thing is, I guess that we're just not seeing
What's up, Dave?
anything.
How's Vegas, my man?
We got 2 Daves in the chat.
We got a YouTube Dave and a Facebook Dave. Which one? Next up is Mormon Dave, because Dave's been in Utah for a while. I'm worried about that. I was very worried about that last
Dave
week.
has 3 wives already.
That's what I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that part of it. That's the only good thing about being a Mormon, I think. But I mean, yeah, the defense, we knew going into it, Andrew Berry does not take a priority on running on stopping the run. And it's funny because somebody put a stat out yesterday and they said the top 3 running backs in football were, I forgot exactly what the stats were, but it was like 3 of the top running backs are Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, and I forgot who the other one was that are like some of the most used backs. And all those teams have losing records. So people are like, for everyone saying you need to run the ball to win, clearly that's not how the NFL is formulated.
Yeah, I think we ran 24 times on Sunday. So
yeah,
I mean, it's typical of the Browns to run between 20 to 30 times a game. It's not like we couldn't run. We were averaging like 5.5 yards per run. So we were moving the ball in chunks. But it wasn't like the explosive game we thought we'd get out of Chubb or Hunt. But
no, I mean, pretty much
they did pretty well at slowing down.
Chubb got locked up until that 33-yard touchdown. That was his biggest run. I mean,
he ended up with 60 yards on the day.
And our offense overall looked like shit. The offensive line was banged up. Thank you, Dave. Dave got us some IPAs coming back. I think it was from Lazy Dog, if I'm not mistaken, he said. If they're cold, we'll crack those on air next week. That sounds like a plan to me. If you're back in town, I don't know how long. I think Dave's moving to Vegas. No, he's got to be back on Friday for the show. I would think.
No, I saw him standing outside of the Union Center.
I saw that
he's supposed to be applying for a job.
Chipper told him to put an application in. Chipper's trying to get him the hell out of here.
Chipper was like, stay the fuck out.
Chipper was roasting him, man. It was kind of funny. I don't know Chipper for being funny, but that was actually pretty good. but yeah, overall, I mean, even the offense, you've got Wyatt Teller's first game back from injury.
Yeah.
He was banged up. He kept getting subbed out. Jack Conklin is obviously injured, so he's not playing his best. He kept getting called for penalties and shit like that and kept getting blown by. Jedrick Wills didn't have a very good game. The offensive line overall did not play well.
I mean, Brissett did well. I mean,
Brissett did as good as you can.
Jones did. I mean, this season, People Jones is coming into his own. We both kind of called that and said, this has to be the year he does this.
And I think it's even going to get better because if you remember the first drive when we had that deep pass to him from Brissett,
he trailed back.
It was an underthrown ball.
Yeah.
A guy, again, I don't want to harp and make it sound like I'm bashing Jacoby Brissett by any stretch. He's a backup quarterback. He's good. He does what he can. He doesn't have a strong arm. Deshaun Watson does. Deshaun Watson, I like to think, is going to throw that ball perfectly in stride, and Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to moonwalk into the end zone.
I hope so. I hope that I'm really getting pumped for the return of Watson. I just hope that there's not going to be a lot of this rust and like slow starts and stuff because I feel he's going to be so scrutinized for every fucking play he has. People aren't going to worry about the fact he hasn't played in 2 years.
I mean, if he comes out and like we're playing the Texans the first game, the Texans are a very bad team. We realistically should win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm calling that right now. I'm probably going to be picking the Browns to win in 2 weeks. However, if Watson goes like 12 of 21 for like 150 yards because they're kind of slowly easing him back, fans are going to be like, we fucking traded a first round pick for this. They won't even care if we win the game.
You already hear.
Yeah, I already know I'm going to have to. And I know this because this is what I do. I defend people that I like in sports. I like Deshaun Watson. I always did before the allegations. You and I talked about how badly I wanted him in Cleveland.
You called for him like 2 years ago.
I did. I've wanted Deshaun Watson for a long time. So I am going to die on that hill of Deshaun Watson.
I think you paid for all the massages so he got out of Houston, so we had a chance to get him.
If I did that, I would have gotten a couple myself. So it definitely wasn't me. I wouldn't have wasted the money on somebody else. But no, I'm excited for him to come back, and I'm already prepared to defend him. I know there are going to be people that again, the first quarter, if he's 2 of 5 passing and we don't have any touchdowns, people are going to just bitch and moan.
Well, you saw
They're going to expect he needs to show up and be great immediately, or it's over.
his preseason game where he did not look good. I mean, it was
Yeah.
preseason, but
Which the other funny thing about that too is
people just bitched about that too.
they bitched about it, but you could tell they didn't actually watch what was happening because we had drops from Anthony Schwartz. You had the one play where he threw it, and Anthony Schwartz was running the wrong route, and you could tell Watson was visibly pissed. He was like bitching that like you're supposed to be here. Why are you over there?
Yeah.
And Browns fans are like, Watson sucks. He's rusty. It's like
I got excited.
he knows what he's doing.
The rollout that he had where he had nobody, he broke out so quickly, no one's
Yeah.
in front of him. Like, oh Jesus Christ!
And he threw it, and Schwartz fucking dropped it.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for it. Though.
and that's the other funny thing is that everyone just goes back to that. They go, look at his preseason game. He looked like shit. The preseason game, he had no starters playing, no Njoku. Actually, maybe Njoku was there. I don't remember. But no Nick Chubb, no Amari Cooper. He had nobody to play with. He's playing with all the backups, and fans are still going, he needs to be great.
Yeah, Peoples Jones and Cooper. I think he's probably salivating at the chance to get in that game right now because either one of those players can get down the field quickly.
How many times has Peoples Jones had to turn around and stop to catch a ball from Brissett?
I guess I didn't realize how fast he was.
Fast as fuck. He
Because
really
his
is.
route running has gotten so much better this year. Like
Yep.
off the line, he's getting free
Yep.
off of those press coverages and breaking down the field. He's quick as fuck.
He's extremely quick.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Yes, damn right he is, man. He's got those fucking PF flyers
Tim,
on,
I
and he's
feel
just
like every time you
smoking.
make a comment, your head needs to like visibly pop up. And
Yeah,
say
I
it
need-
and then go away.
I need my Tim bobblehead in the middle when you're like
boom, say something.
like
it
just
goes
pop in
away.
and go like bitch and then just disappear. I love that. but no, I'm excited for Watson to come back. I mean, this Dolphins game, I don't even want to recap it. I hated it so much. It was
No, I
just
just don't
ugly.
want to talk about it. I mean,
It's weird. Our secondary actually played decently.
Mhm.
There's only so much you could do against Tyreek Hill. There were passes sometimes where no bullshit. The ball was thrown
mhm.
before Tyreek Hill even turned around. Their timing is just immaculate. And so
Right.
there's nothing you could do defensively.
Right.
The other guy, number 14, whatever the fuck his name was, that caught like a touchdown against us, he killed us.
Waddle.
No, Waddle's 17, I think.
Oh,
It was the guy that caught the touchdown. I can't remember his name, but he destroyed Martin Emerson. But Tua also had some brilliant throws. Like the one touchdown in the back of the end zone was just a perfect throw. Emerson, really nothing he could do about it. Was it a push off offensive pass interference? I think so. If you're going to call it on Amari Cooper like they did, damn right. If you're going to call it on Amari Cooper like they did, you better call that shit on this guy that I don't even know his fucking name. But they didn't because it's, the Browns were getting smoked anyway. The NFL doesn't care. Just an ugly game, though. I mean, overall, there's nothing good to talk about from that game.
I'll be honest. I had the Browns in my parlay bet.
Yeah.
Maybe pull out a chance.
I mean, I picked the Dolphins. I knew this was coming. I just didn't think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah, I get excited. I made the parlay bet. I'm like, oh shit, $25 ago, $2,400. This is great.
It's
And the Brown shot it away.
because, they were an underdog, so it definitely helped your odds or helped the payout a little
That's
bit.
what I was
but
thinking. I'm like, I'm gonna walk into Cleveland, a
That-
Cleveland fan, walk out with
That's
some money. In the
why they were
pocket.
underdogs.
Yeah. So
What
shitty game.
were we saying, Tim? I'm sorry.
I definitely thought the Browns were going to win this game.
No, I had no faith. I'm back to the no faith train on this team, but we'll see what happens with them. They look like shit in every aspect. I'm not going to blame Nick Chubb, but that fumble was a killer.
He never fumbles.
That's why I'm not going to. I mean, fumbles happen.
That was like the perfect punch. I remember watching the replay that night back at the hotel room before we got on the plane. That guy came around and perfectly punched it like right. At
Yeah, I
the
mean,
right time.
Chubb was like he was going right through a hole. Probably didn't even think anybody could get a hand on him, and the
Yeah.
guy just punched it right through. So there's really, I mean,
nothing
again,
you can do about that.
nothing you can do. I'm not blaming Chubb. The funny thing that I saw were people that were saying, they were defending Nick Chubb because they already know how Browns fans are, and they're basically like, guys, everybody fumbles.
Yep.
It happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens. And that's the crazy thing about Browns fans is like they don't understand that like mistakes happen. Nobody's perfect. Even the best quarterback of all time throws interceptions. You know what I mean? And fans still wanted to bitch about Nick Chubb. And then 1 week we don't use him enough. The next week he's the reason we lose because he fumbles. The fans you can't make him happy.
Right.
And
I hate Browns fans.
I'm over 'em. I really am.
hate Browns fans.
I've been trying to tell everybody that Browns fans are the dumbest. I've been saying that for a long time, and I stand by it. They just are. They're so fucking
Guys,
simple-minded.
we're trying to build our Cleveland audience base here. You guys are all fucking stupid.
I want them to come here because they need to learn. They got to come here to learn. I'll gladly teach them about being a real fan and understanding football. Because that's the other thing too is like you had mentioned. I don't mean you by any stretch when I say this, but you had mentioned that we were averaging like the 5 yards a carry, and that's a thing that Browns fans say all the time. They'll always say when it's 3rd and 1, why don't you give the ball to Nick Chubb because we average 5 yards a carry.
Mhm.
The 5 yards a carry is just the overall yardage divided
Sure.
by, or the overall carries divided by yardage and shit like that, or yards divided by carries. I'm sorry. it doesn't explain the actual in-depth analytics that the Browns have people making a lot of money to understand. The 5 yards of carry is not factoring in which down it is, the distance of the down, etc. Those are honestly things that real NFL teams take into consideration. So if you are on a 3rd and 1, the defense is probably thinking 90% chance you're going to run the ball. So they're going to stack the box. They're going to play the defense that Miami played on Sunday,
Right.
where they stacked everything. That's why the Browns like to throw the ball occasionally on 3rd and 1, because they're going against a run defense and they're going, fuck it. They're going to play the run. We're going to throw the ball here. That's smart football. When they're playing run, you go pass, vice versa. That's how you win football games. It's a chess match. Browns fans don't understand that. They just think every time Nick Chubb touches the ball, you're going to get 5 yards, guaranteed. Even though I've watched Nick Chubb not get 5 yards multiple times, Browns fans don't understand that.
Yeah, more so my point that was the fact that that's our
No, I
average
understood
for the
you.
year.
You saying it just made me think of fans
It's
saying
just,
that.
well, my point was that we're doing what we've done every game. Is that we're
Yeah.
moving the ball. The
Yeah.
ball's going the same distance. We're touching the ball 20 to 25 times. We're averaging at 5 some yards. That's what we've been doing every game this year. That's staying the same. And what's different is our defense does this every game.
Yeah, we this week we played a team that offensively I knew we weren't going to be able to keep up with. Their offense is just too good. I love Denzel Ward. I love Greg Newsome, but these are guys that I know are not going to be able to cover Waddle. They're not going to be able to cover Tyreek Hill. I did not expect our run defense to be as piss poor as it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was truly embarrassing. It looks like they quit. That's why the title of the show is The Losers, because the Browns played like a bunch of fucking losers on Sunday. They had no heart. It was just embarrassing.
Did you see the comment of Myles Garrett after the game? Like the whole direction comment that he's talking about. Like,
I saw some snippets on Twitter. I didn't really see.
like I
full
heard
quotes,
I
excuse me.
heard parts of it, and people are of course dissecting what he's saying, and then there's people out there who I guess someone made a highlight video of like his every single play he did on Sunday, and people are calling him out saying he's quitting on certain plays and whatnot. And I'm like, this is a boat that I don't want to rock like with him, because I've seen this before.
It goes back to the stupidity of Browns fans.
Yes, it's like we did this with Odell.
Yep.
I'm not saying that Miles' dad's out there or someone's out there making, but we just stop whatever. Of course the man's going to give up in some plays. If the plays go into the other end of the other side of the field, of course he's not going to run across the field. He's not going to catch that player. Why risk injury?
Right.
Did he get to the quarterback? No, but he was also going against a 3-time Pro Bowl left tackle that was slowing him down a lot that day.
And on top of it,
he's getting fucking doubled.
it's 120 degrees on the field.
You see the
Probably
difference between the
Yeah.
temperature on each side?
they
Jesus.
did that specifically to do that. Like the home sideline is in the shade.
Yeah.
The opponent sideline is directly in the sun. They
Yeah.
said the difference was like 20 degrees
It's
at least.
insane. One
they
side was 80,
wear-
the other side's 105.
The home team, the Dolphins, they're going to wear white because it's lighter to play with. The Browns had to wear dark brown.
Yeah.
So you're wearing football padding, helmets. You're wearing dark colors. You're sitting directly into the sun. Even the highest level of athlete is going to get fucking tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Myles Garrett's out there getting double, triple teamed. I'd love to see any Browns fan in the middle of summer, even doesn't even have to be as hot as Miami with the humidity. Try to just put forth one workout that Myles Garrett would put in. You'll die. This guy had to go out there and play a football game, and you're going, he quits. He's lazy. Look at him out there.
I can successfully roll a Porsche if I wanted to, though. I can do that.
100%. I can do that. No question about it.
So I can do one thing.
I'm about the same height as Myles Garrett, so I would fit in one just as poorly.
Like this.
Yeah, I drive it like I'm playing like a video game, like at a Dave and Buster's.
Like one of those like Harleys that you get way up here. You're driving. Yeah.
That's how he drove it. I mean, he definitely hit himself a fucking banana peel or got hit with a shell.
So we go.
Imagine me getting in one?
I would love to see it. We're
Actually,
taking
yes.
next
challenge
time
accepted.
when we're at
Yeah.
when we're at the piston powered Autorama, you're getting into a smart car or
We're
something.
gonna walk around and find a Porsche or a smart car, like he said. We're gonna shove your ass in one.
If Dave can get us the speakers that go outward, I'm going to tell him we need to make sure that we find the smallest car here. Tim's getting in it.
We can do like a raffle. Like we'll take money on it. Like
Oh, yeah.
place bets.
If somebody's willing to lend us their smallest car for Tim to get in, they can come on the show. We'll give them a little free publicity.
We'll put some odds on it.
We'll start that petition right now. We're doing that. But
So I could probably get in it. Getting out will be the problem.
that's why
Well,
we
I
need to
don't
find
care
somebody.
about
'Cause-
that.
yeah, that's
I'll get you in. I'm walking away. after
sorry,
that.
Tim, buddy. That's a you problem. I'll help you in. If not, you're living in that car, I guess, forever. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll put a drink in there for you though. Maybe a French fry.
I'll happily go to the post office and change your address to living in that car if that's what it takes.
But yeah, let's move on from that because that was a.
It was overall ugly. I mean, when the game ends and you have fans bashing your best talented players, I mean,
Yes.
there was Nick Chubb hate because of the fumble. There was Myles Garrett hate because of how tired he was just from getting his ass kicked all day because, I mean, our defense was terrible. That's when you know things are really bad with the fan base. The other thing, too, is like I don't really get what did Browns fans expect with Jacoby Brissett? He's played wonderfully. I know our defense has been very, very disappointing this year.
Did we ever put bets out there what we thought the record would be by going into Deshaun?
I think I had us at like 5 or 6 wins, which
Was
we
like-
realistically should have been about there.
Was it like 5 and 7 or something like
I
that?
think it would be he's out 11 games. I think I had 6 and 5.
6 and 5.
I think I had 6 and 5 or 5 and 6 were my 2 guesses for like about where we would be. I
think
wanted to
had
be
4
around
I think I had
500.
7 sticks up, so I think 4 and 7 is what I had.
Yeah. I knew if we were around, in which one more win and we're there.
Right.
I mean, it's not that hard. Tampa Bay is not the unbeatable dominant machine that they used to be when they won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. They
Or
are a
as they keep
very,
throwing it to-
very
Keep throwing it to Brady. That'd be great.
yeah. I love that play. By all means, try that again. Their run game, Leonard Fournette's banged up, so
Their offensive line's trash.
yeah, their offensive line is super fucked up. They've lost, I think, at least 2 centers in the offseason alone.
Not that
So
we
they're
can
a
get to
beatable
them,
team.
but
I mean,
the
yeah,
line's trash.
We're thinking too far ahead. I mean, we got another game this week to talk about, but
Is it?
potentially it's going to be ugly. Could be, but I mean, yeah, I wanted us to be around 500. I just wanted to stay above water. Was all I said this whole time. I'm like, if we can just kind of stay there. The other funny thing too is that Browns fans, again, they must be stupid. I don't understand why they don't
Should
understand
we
it.
just put a logo up here, like in the corner that says
Yeah.
Browns fans
You know
are
what?
stupid?
Before the show, I talked to Tim. I'm pulling back the curtain here. I talked to Tim about putting a rolling thing at the bottom, a scroll that would put up our social media information, stuff like that. I'm just going to change it to put Browns fans are fucking idiots, and it's just going to scroll across while I talk about the Browns. But in all seriousness, one thing that they need to realize is, yes, the division is probably out of reach. Baltimore's got too big of a lead. Their schedule is one of the easiest in football to end the year. I don't know if you've seen it. Baltimore has a very easy schedule. I don't think the division is obtainable. However, wild card spots are there.
Yeah.
Browns fans forget about the wild card. If you watch the rest of the NFL, there are no teams killing it right now. I think the Jets are 6-3. I think
Yes.
we're 3-6. 3-game difference. If the Jets get cold and they lose a couple games, I think the Chargers are 5-4. 2-game difference between the Browns. A wild card spot is really not that far away. If we can get one win out of these next 2 weeks, and then
Can't believe
Watson
the
comes
Jets
back.
6-3. I still can't. Get that
It
in
makes
my
no
head.
sense to me. They're such a weird fucking team because they're
Them and the Giants both having the weirdest years ever.
the Giants. I can kind of understand because they have
Coach
some
of the year
talent.
right there coming up.
Yeah, Sean McDermott, head coach of the Giants.
On record, I said Dable first. So
You said the Bills coach. There we go. Browns fans are stupid. I love it. They really are. But they forget that there's a wild card option out there. Again, I get it. It's a pipe dream. It's wishful thinking. Our team looks terrible
we
right
have
now.
to go undefeated with Watson. when he
Even-
comes back.
Even just the word, I feel like Jim Mora, the word playoffs. And we go, playoffs? Are you kidding me?
One of the best
Playoffs with this
interviews of all-
team?
One of the
That's-
best interviews of all time.
That's truly how I feel right now with the Browns. But from a realistic standpoint, all it takes is, I don't wish injuries on anybody, but it takes a couple AFC teams to have an injury, a couple teams lose a few weeks. Browns can climb a ladder. Not that difficult. And our second half schedule, which looked really fucking tough, doesn't seem that
It
tough
got
anymore
easier as the year went on.
because you're going with Watson coming back. I don't have the schedule off the top of my head, but I know it's Houston. We're going to play Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. With Watson, we destroyed the Bengals with Brissett. We lost within a field goal, I think it was 3 points against the Ravens. You like to think Deshaun Watson's going to add a little factor to the team. We could maybe overcome that 3-point deficit. We play the Steelers, who are ass,
So we got the Bills this week.
Yep.
We got the Bucks next week.
Yep.
We got the Texans the week after. Now that
which
starts
should,
Watson.
should be a win.
We go into the Bengals, which we've owned.
Joe Burrow cannot beat us. We just whooped them with what's his face, Jacoby Brissett. So with Watson, you think you're going to win.
We go Ravens, which
Winnable,
yes, Saints,
very winnable. They fucking suck. That's another one that I was worried about that game.
Commanders,
Very winnable.
and then we end the season to Steelers.
All winnable games. We could realistically, I'll take, what is that? He has 6 games he's going to play for
Yep.
us. If we go 5-1, potential playoffs. If we win one of these games, if we can get to 9 wins,
That'd be 9-8 in the season.
there's a chance that could get you a wild card spot.
Very easily because I think there was 1 or 2 9-8 teams in the wild card last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not that. And then, again, the AFC is not good. Nobody wants it.
And you get going at the right time at the end of the season. If you're healthy, you get going for a tons of momentum. Going
Imagine
into
if
the playoffs.
Watson comes in, we go 5-1, we're one of the hottest teams in football going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And even so, and let's say we don't. Let's say we don't make the playoffs. This is really more of a setting the stage to what 2023 can be too, because you're really putting that confidence back into Watson. He's getting all that rust off. He's building. He's getting comfortable in Stefanski's offense. Stefanski's building more of an offensive playbook around Watson. And now in the offseason, you have one of the smartest GMs in the league. You're going to go and try to fit more pieces around Watson. And on that defense, you're going to help this team go far.
So right now, I'm just looking at the playoff picture here. Again, I'm way ahead of myself. Ravens 6-3, division probably out of reach. Jets 6-3, they're the 5 seed wild card. I am not a Jets believer. I think they fluked their way into some wins.
Your friends in New York can hear you.
Oh, I tell them that every day, so they already know this. I think they fluked their way into a couple wins. I think Zach Wilson really sucks. He's holding them back. The Jets really remind me of the Browns with Baker. They have some talent. Defense can play well. They're trying to establish a run game. The quarterback is holding them back.
Oh, we still got the Browns too.
Because we're still talking. Browns are still up there.
Every time we talk Browns, Tim has to go across the line.
The Bills are in the 6th seed. They're 6-3. They're behind Miami for the division.
And they're Band-Aid taping
and they
Josh
really,
Allen right now.
Josh Allen is banged up. I'm not saying, by spoiler alert, I'm fucking picking the Bills this week. I'm not crazy. I want everybody to know that. But the Bills, I'm not even going to say they're beatable by the Browns. I think we're going to lose this week. But like you said, Josh Allen is hurt. All it's going to take is a good whack on Josh Allen because there's still a lot of season left. Mm-hmm. He could end up missing some time. Yeah. His arm's fucked up. If you've ever played sports, if you watch baseball, if a pitcher starts throwing and has a little bit of tenderness in his elbow, it doesn't get better by throwing more. You need rest. That's the only way to get better. So if Josh Allen continues to just keep throwing and fucking up his elbow, he might end up needing Tommy John surgery or something like that. So by all means, keep playing him. I love it. The 7th seed, you have the Patriots, who are only 5-4. Again, we're 3-6. That's 2-game difference. That's not that far apart. On the bubble, I'm sorry. Chargers 5-4, Bengals 5-4, Colts 4-5. Our Brownies right there, 3-6. The AFC is not some juggernaut. Wild card playoff spot is very obtainable. If we can just get our shit together when Watson comes back, you got to win at least 5 of those games. Obviously, 6 would be ideal. But if you go undefeated, you get 9 games right there. If we can win one of these next 2, if we can potentially beat Tampa Bay next week, which how beautiful would that be, by the way?
To get a win going into
Jacoby Brissett's final game as the Cleveland Browns starter. Knock on wood. Need some stronger wood here, Dave. This isn't pine, is it? But anyway. But all seriousness, though, if we can beat Tampa Bay, how cool would that be for Jacoby Brissett's last game as a Cleveland Brown? That would be amazing. But that would also really help the Browns going forward for quote-unquote potential wild card spot. So it's still there, Browns fans.
We're saying that now. Let's see how we talk about it in 4 weeks.
It's which totally understandable. If we're losing games and the playoffs are no question we're not getting in, it's fine. But for right now, it's just the way Browns fans are like, season's over, it's done. It's like, look around the league, the rest of the league. The defending AFC champions are 5-4. Yeah. They're not killing it by any stretch. And Browns fans are like, season's over, we're terrible.
And they could lose this weekend, too, the Bengals.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing the Steelers, who are actually, unfortunately, they're kind of playing well.
They got Watt back. So
yeah, exactly. That changed everything.
Back, see what happened last week?
Changed everything. Let's get around to another sport with another Cleveland team.
Can we get past the depressing parts?
No, we're in Cleveland. That's all we have. Right. What good things? We already got the good shit out of the way. That was Tito.
And they're selling the Christmas Story house. You see, this is all fucking.
What, you see who's buying it, though? You should like that.
No, I didn't see who bought it. I didn't see
Nobody bought it yet. There's a group of people that put a bid in.
Oh, yeah? Who's buying it?
The cast of The Christmas Story.
No, the whole cast?
Yeah.
Oh,
like not. I don't know if it's all of them, but a huge group of them, I guess, are they made an offer. They would like to buy it and restore it and like keep it in their name.
Okay, I'm happy about that.
That news just came out today, so yeah,
I didn't see that.
I think that would be better than anybody.
I saw it selling it on the way back. Like, motherfucker!
Yeah, no, it's up for sale, but yeah, what I heard today was that the Christmas Story cast put a bid in.
Hell yeah! The new one comes out, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, or this weekend. I think.
I actually forgot to watch a trailer for that. What's that out on?
HBO Max.
Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check it out for sure. I watch the original all the time.
Yeah, because I think Peter Billingsley is coming back to play his older self.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of the old casts, so I'm excited for. There should be just a lot of callbacks. Just keep it easy. I hate when movies come back after like a long time, like Coming to America 2 or whatever.
That was hilarious, though.
Which one?
Coming back, all the callbacks, like the little bits.
Some of the callbacks are funny, but overall, that movie sucked.
I mean,
it was really bad.
There were some people they wrote out of the crypt for sure, but
really bad. Tim, I'm going to agree to disagree. I hated it. Some movies they just.
Is there really any bad Eddie Murphy movie? I mean,
plenty. Yeah,
like Vampire in Brooklyn, classic. Hilarious.
I mean, I like some of the shittier ones, like Bowfinger. I love that movie. That's one that like people probably hate. I love that one.
Classic.
Nutty Professor is very good.
I can't wait to see Beverly Hills Cop, the 4th one he's coming out.
I like the one where he has to be quiet. I can't remember the name of it. I forgot it. It's like where something like if he talks, money like the leaves fall off, and if the leaves fall off and gets to nothing, he's dead or
Is it
something
like
like
a
that.
serious movie it was in?
It's somewhat serious.
Okay, well,
It's like a mix.
Murphy
No,
Murphy
it's still a comedy, but it's also like it's like a touching one. It's like a family movie, if anything. But no, it was a good one. I just can't remember the name of it. But I didn't like The Coming to America one. I wasn't a fan. But yeah, hopefully this one's not a shitty movie. Maybe it'll be Kyle's Just the Tip next week.
Maybe.
Maybe. Spoiler alert
Spoiler
again.
alert.
Moving on, though, we'll talk a little bit about the Cavaliers.
Oy.
Speaking
Oy,
of
oy.
struggling, disappointing teams right now, I get it. It's early, but
I leave to go to Vegas. They're doing great. I come back. They lose 4 in a row.
as you
Moral of the
said,
story is do not go to Vegas.
yeah, honestly, I blame Kyle for all this.
Sorry, boys.
We beat the
If they win
Bengals.
tonight, then that's what it means.
We beat the Bengals. We went on the bye week, and then Kyle goes to Vegas. We get embarrassed by the Dolphins.
It's all my fault.
Cavaliers are 8-1. Kyle goes to Vegas. Cavaliers are fucking 8-5
I
now
see
or
a
whatever.
trend here. I see a
Yeah,
trend here.
I'm starting to get it.
I go to Vegas. We think Quan's going to win, and we come
I
back.
mean, I knew Quan wasn't going to win. I knew that one was coming, but I thought at least second place. We'll get to that in a minute. But the Cavs are struggling. Dean Wade was hurt. Donovan Mitchell was hurt. Jared Allen's hurt. Jared Allen's not even traveling with the team for this road trip. So they're playing Milwaukee tonight at 8 o'clock.
Another
Game's
guy
about to
got
start.
hurt. He's out for 4 weeks. Got a ankle like something.
Dylan Windler, he had already
Yeah.
missed the beginning of the season. They announced today a minor procedure, so he's going to miss another few weeks. But he doesn't get a lot of playing time.
Right.
But speaking of playing time, is JB Bickerstaff overdoing it?
Yes.
JB Bickerstaff he's playing Donovan Mitchell. He's running him into the fucking ground.
39 minutes a game. Highest in the NBA.
That's not sustainable. That's what happens with teams that get to the playoffs and they get eliminated early because everybody's just dead tired.
And here's the thing too: you're not giving, and a lot of this offense running through Mitchell and now Garland, and you're not trusting the rest of the players in the court.
No,
And
not at all.
You're making yourself very easily defendable because
Yeah,
all
it's
you're
just
doing
the
is
guards,
knocking
that's
down
it.
those two, and
Yeah.
knowing you're not going to pass the ball off, and they
It's-
can't beat you.
It's a scary situation they're in right now. I mean, I get it. Again, it's super early, but at the same time, every win matters. This could be a thing where these last 4 losses we've had, and now who knows what's going to happen going forward without Jared Allen. And hopefully it's nothing too serious and doesn't miss an extended period of time. But if we're without Jared Allen for a while, we get some losses. I mean, that could legitimately mean you're going from possibly being a 3 seed, having home court advantage, at least for the first couple of rounds of the playoffs, to maybe you're the 6th seed, the 7th seed, God only knows.
Guys, you're
Doing a
playoff-
fucking
playing
play-in
it
game
again,
or
yeah.
something, you know?
That's the thing too. It's like it gets me. It's like Mitchell's style of play is very fast and like not as he's bouncing off people, is going through the middle, is getting hit. He can't sustain playing that long. Like his
He
average
reminds
before
me
coming
of-
this season, like 34 to 33 minutes.
Yeah.
Now he's 5 minutes more per game, which is crazy to me.
Which, when you say that out loud, that's the other thing too. It's the same people that shit on Myles Garrett. They're like, "Oh, what's 5 minutes?" But it's like, dude, you're doing it for 80 something games or whatever, and it's exhausting. And
Leads
like
to
you said,
injuries. Yeah.
it's not just the running and the miles and the exhaustion. It's also the getting banged up. You're getting hit on every play. How many times you watch Donovan Mitchell get knocked to the ground in the
Yeah.
game? It's reminiscent of Allen Iverson,
Because he likes going to the middle and getting
Yeah.
those foul calls, and
which
stuff
is
like
great. It gets the contact. It's like James Harden kind of does the same thing. They try to get contact with, but it also could backfire because one of those contacts could be a little too aggressive and you're hurt.
And
A la what happened against Golden State when Donovan Mitchell hurt his ankle
Yep.
and then had to miss the next game against Minnesota on Sunday.
that. See, I'm a huge JB fan. Like I think
I do too. I'm gonna preface it with that.
I think this is his style of bat. He's trying to come out this season, just punch people in the face
Mhm.
and go, like right out the bats and just hit teams hard and fast. And that's worked the first 9-10 games.
Yeah.
Like he caught teams off guard. They kick him out fast. They're running hard. And that I think he wanted to come out the season and kind of win the first quarter of the season. You know what I mean? And that's not going to sustain. And he's going to have to switch gears, which how he was coaching towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
Which was more not as aggressive, got more people minutes, moved the ball around a lot more. I think he just kind of saw Mitchell as an opportunity to go and just hit the ground running. Literally.
I mean, last year, I get it. We've traded a couple pieces away. What's up, Willie? We traded a couple guys away, like Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen was getting huge minutes last year. He was
Numbers this year in
He's
Utah?
doing great. He was a guy that was a huge contributor to this team last year. Lamar Stevens was also getting
Yeah.
huge minutes. He's barely touching the court this year
Yeah.
for some reason. So JB Bickerstaff is really not incorporating the bench like he used to.
Yeah.
Robin Lopez really only gets time if somebody's in foul trouble, which now he's going to get a lot more time because of the injuries. Dean Wade was getting a lot of minutes going in. Kevin Love wasn't getting a ton of minutes so far early in the season. There were a couple games where people were wondering why Kevin Love's not getting a little bit more. He's just sticking with the starting five a little too much.
I think he's just one of those things, like you said. I think he tried a whole different playbook to see if he could run this way. Now he's starting to see that it's going to kill him in the end. So I think
Which for me, this is
you'll
a
start
good,
seeing
it's a good
transition
sign. Yeah, it's a
possibly.
good sign because this means when you are in the playoffs, you cut your bench down. And there were also critiques about Chetty Osman. There was a game, I forgot which one off the top of my head. I mean, they've had so many games where they fucking lost, and there's so many things to complain about. But there was one of the games where somebody was looking at it, and they were like, Chetty like barely played in the second half. They stuck with the same guys. Guys were getting tired. Why isn't Chetty playing? Like,
Right.
what's going on with this? Use your guys on the bench now so everybody else is healthy for the playoff run. And you also want to keep guys fresh on a current court because you've had a lot of good games where you lost by only a few points. Like you said, we lost 2 points against the
We haven't gotten blown out
Clippers.
this
I forgot we only lost by a few against the Kings, which first and foremost, unacceptable loss right there. You should have beat the fucking Kings.
year. They beat the Lakers too. Todd. I mean, they're good.
That's like they beat a fucking high school team there. The Lakers are ass. Then
we only lost by 3 to the Warriors too, I believe.
and that game was bullshit. So many fucking bad calls by the refs. They really screwed us in that game, especially late. And then Sunday against the Timberwolves, we were getting blown out. I mean, we were down by like 30 points or something like that at one
I mean,
point.
Garland's had.
I turned the
a
game
couple
off because I
times.
was like, this is fucking ugly. I was watching football. And then, maybe I turned on Yellowstone or something. And then I turned the Cavs game back on. And all of a sudden we're down by like 3 going into the fourth quarter or
Garland
something.
just put it in
Garland put
second
up 51 points, but we still lost. But again, that's a lot of exhaustion for Darius Garland. He had to carry the team without Donovan Mitchell, no Jared Allen, and he had to go for 51, and we still lost. To me, that's kind of scary. That makes me wonder. That makes me worried about the rest of the team.
So maybe, I mean, just
Somebody
again,
else, like I love Evan Mobley. He's young. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he needs to really take a step.
And maybe, like I said, maybe my theory is just that he's just messing with a whole different kind of way of playing to see if it works, what doesn't work, and he knows what works. It got him to the playoffs last year.
Sure.
Just maybe switch back to that. Let's get more people involved off the bench. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's play your basketball that you brought into the team last year, which worked, and just fucking stop getting people hurt, man. I mean,
That's my worry is that right now it's early. So he's testing some things out, testing the waters with different lineups and shit like that. But you also run the risk of a guy being a little more mentally exhausted at the end of the game. Maybe a Donovan Mitchell or a Garland, they make a bad decision because they're a little tired. It could happen, and it's going to cost us games. It could potentially lead to an injury.
Mitchell is
Literally,
known
things I'm worried about.
to get in slumps.
Absolutely.
It's happened. He's been known to get in his own way sometimes, and he tries to shoot himself out of situations.
Yeah.
That he did that in Utah a lot. So it's a possibility that could happen. You want to avoid that though. You have
Sure.
talent on this team. Use them.
Yeah, and my worry now is without Jared Allen down there being the dominant post guy that, they're just going to defenses are going to clog the lane because
No
you're
one's gonna
stopping
clear 'em out.
Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, who are great shooters, but they also love to drive. If you clog the lane, they have nowhere to go.
And Mobley's not the
We
guy to
don't
clear
have
the
great
center.
shooters because who are they going to kick it to? Are you going to kick it to Isaac Okoro for 3? I'm not excited about that. Are you going to kick it to fucking Mobley for 3? He's not a great 3-point shooter yet. So if they clog the paint, we're really fucked. And if you clog your pipes at home, you're going to want to call Smith's Drain Service LLC. You like that?
How was the transition last week? I wasn't here. Did you do anything? You guys do
I
that
think we
well?
did a really good one. I don't remember. Tim and I killed it though. I forgot exactly. I have a horrible memory. I don't remember half the shit I talk about, but I know we did a really good job. But Smith's Drain Service LLC is the local drain cleaning experts in Northeast Ohio. They specialize in main sewer lines, bathtub, laundry lines, septic lines, kitchen sink lines, floor drains, and downspouts, and so much more. Family owned and operated. Give them a call, 440-242-8704.
So I went to Vegas last week. Clearly, I forgot to put my trash cans out. So my trash sat in my trash cans for an extra week. And you know what happened?
You
last-
shat in your
I
trash
shat.
cans.
It sat in my trash cans for an extra week, and that just made them extra dirty. So I'm gonna have to give Fitch Trash Bin Cleaning another call. Have them come out, clean those suckers out. Give them a call over at 440-752-1533. Tell them the Team Redline sent you, and they'll get you 10% off your first service.
Did you happen to check out any dive bars when you were in Vegas?
I checked out a couple actually.
Did you happen to make it to one specific one known as the Rusty
Sad-
Spur Saloon?
Sadly, I did not. No.
You did not. Well, for those of you out there that are going to Vegas anytime soon, unlike Kyle or myself, who both went to Vegas this year and both didn't have time to go to the Rusty
out
Spur
of the-
Saloon,
Out of the way.
it is out of the way. I truly didn't have any time. I was there for the draft. I didn't have time to do shit. But if you're there, go to Rusty Spur Saloon. They're located in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they've been voted the biggest hole-in-the-wall bar for the last 2 years and running. Check them out.
So our hotel was right off Fremont Street, and every night there was bands playing everywhere. You know, the one thing I thought when I was walking through Fremont Street listening to these bands, I guarantee Bad Juju would kill it on these stages here. They had a lot of good music, a lot of country, rock, and they had dancing DJs who shook their ass all night, which is kind of cool.
I'm into that.
But Bad Juju, the official sponsor, the official band of Redline Radio. If you have a bar, restaurant, you want to bring these guys in to perform for whatever kind of party you have going on, give Dan a call today. Book your show at 440-225-0511. Trust me, I've heard some of their music. They're pretty damn good.
Now, this Friday,
Friday.
Kyle and I are going to be on Money's Crazy Mind, 8 to 10, Friday night. Well, we'll be there from 8 to 9, I guess I should say. And right after that, I'm going to check on my boy. Tim, can you float yourself in the middle here really quick? Because my boy, Timbuktu, is headlining the comedy show at Lucy's Shenanigans Seafood and Steakhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. And I am going to be on Lee's show for about an hour. And then I'm going right down the fucking street to catch my dude, Tim. Finally get to see him do stand-up in person. I cannot wait. My man, Timbuktu, is going to kill it. They are located at 2218 Broadview Road, Cleveland, Ohio. Really quick, though, for those of you, obviously go to Lucy's. Check them out on any given day. But at the same time, go this Friday, $10 in advance. What are the prices at the door, Tim? 15 at the door. The Redline Radio comedy show. I forgot the exact name of it. Tim, I'm sure we'll learn more about it in just the tip, probably.
Pretty sure you will.
But make sure you check that out on
Spoiler
Friday night. Make sure you check it out on Friday night. They're located on Broadview Road. Michelle and the staff at Lucy's are always committed to giving their guests the best experience. Join them every Friday for karaoke. And, of course, all your hometown sports games, 216-675-0013. Check out Lucy's.
So I was at the airport and getting ready to board the plane, had a couple of adult beverages, and Dave walked by. Rocking out some Redline Radio hats and hoodies. I said, Dave, where'd you get those at? He's like, well, Kyle, let me tell you a secret. I got them from Incredible Keepsakes, specialized just for me. So that's awesome. What else do they do for you? He's like, well, they do T-shirts, cups, binders, keychains. You name it, Kyle, they'll make it for you. So that's amazing, Dave. Who do I call? He told me to call Diane. He said, give her a call over at 440-242-9648 or go to their website at www.incrediblekeepsakes.com because cherished moments are made to last forever.
Now I got to tell you, not only am I going to be on Money's Crazy Mind on Friday night, you and I, but the other good thing is we're going to get there early because I'm, a punctual person. I'm going to see my man Grape.
I'm getting early for that too. I can't wait to do it.
The Grapevine from 6 to 8 on Friday nights. It's Studio One, and then it's obviously followed up by Money's Crazy Mind, which I'll be there for. But I can't wait to see my boy Grape on Friday night. Haven't seen him in a little while. Hopefully he's doing well. Check him out at Redline Radio. We have so many shows every day of the week. Saturdays, you've got 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. You've got Comedy and Cocktails with Jen. She was on with Grape last Friday. I was watching that Friday night. That was a funny-ass episode. You've got TMI right after that, 10 to midnight. Sundays, you've got Kevin Kwan, Professional and Professionals, 3 to 5, Medium Ratchet, Steel City Running Lates, ending the night at 7 to 9. I love the running lates because one week they're fucking miserable because the Steelers lose last week. You thought they won the Super Bowl because they won the game. I love the difference. I take that back. The way they were posting, because last week's episode was pre-recorded.
Are we watching like Friday Night SmackDown? They pre-record their show.
Yeah,
now?
they pre-recorded it. It's kind of tacky.
Oh, they're so busy they can't go live.
Yeah, apparently,
I was out of town. You made it work.
In Dave's defense, Dave is in a Mormon community now, and I don't think they believe in Wi-Fi, so he couldn't call into the show. And if Dave's not on the show, it's not worth doing a show. No offense, Chipper and Lee. But
Chipper was at the game too, I think.
Oh yeah, Chipper was at the game.
Yeah.
So Lee would have had to carry the show by himself.
Oh, now we see why they pre-recorded.
You know how hard it would have been. How do you host a show by yourself when you're staring at the wall, looking at nothing on the screen? So I guess I give him a little bit of credit on that. Monday nights, you got Just Therapy from 7 to 9. Tuesdays, you've got Tim Buck, motherfucking 2. Can you get a pop up in the middle? You can see this beautiful face right here. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Tuesday night, 6 to 8. Check him out on at Studio One. You also have Gary Wenner spinning the tunes from 6 to 10, and you've got Broad Street South, 8 to 9. Wednesdays, She Vibes, 8:30 to 9:30.
Why are you checking out Justin's dick, dude? I saw you looking over there.
Somebody get him a magnifying glass because you can't see it. You got Talking About Balls from 7 to 9, and then Thursday nights for the culture. You have did Dubs premiering this week?
I believe so.
Okay, Dubs premiering this week from 3 to 4, and then you've got Lex Vegas from 7 to 8, Club Pizzle 9 to 10. That's for the culture at Studio One, and you've got Broad Street South and Money's Crazy Soundtrack. Also on Thursday night. So check it all out. Redline Radio every fucking day of the week. She Vibes. Where is the remote is tonight?
I think it was supposed to be tonight. I have no idea.
Yeah, Dave didn't really promote that, so I don't know what's going on with that. They were supposed to be doing a remote. I'm not sure when, but either way, check them out. They're going to be starting up here at 8:30, so give them a check or give them a shout out on their show as well. Tell them Talking About Balls sent you. And that's everything you're going to find on Redline Radio. And that's how we do our ad reads and our show plugs.
We need to get like an ad read. Sorry for your phone.
No,
we
you're
need
fine.
to get, like, we need to get like
It's
an
this
ad
stand.
read,
I bought a new case. It doesn't sit right
a
on
new
there.
promo like ad read noise that we can make.
It's not a bad idea. We'll work on something.
And that was our ad.
We'll give Tim some ideas. We'll come up with some shit.
Little slow jams like 80s.
I just love mixing it in randomly. That's like my favorite thing is we start talking about a topic and I'm like, what word could I do for an ad? And I'm like, clog the lane, clog pipes. All right, we're doing Smiths. That's
We're
kind
going
of how
right
it works in
into
my head.
ads.
These wheels don't stop spinning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm always on top of shit. But I wasn't done talking about everything. Actually, I was. I take that back. I'm done talking about the Cavs.
We're moving on from the
We're
Cavs.
moving on.
We're
It is
moving on.
time for NFL Week 10, the recap. We need some echoing. I like echoing. I'm a big fan of echoes. So last week you had Thursday Night Football, Carolina against Atlanta. Weird game. I really thought Atlanta was going to play better. It was a rainy game, shitty weather. But yeah, I really thought that there was going to be more of a fucking showing from Atlanta. I thought they were kind of a lock of a pick.
When's
Because,
the NFL going to stop putting shitty games on Thursdays, by the way?
well, in their defense, I believe the contract for Thursdays is every team gets a Thursday game except for two. I think only 2 teams a year do not get Thursday games or something weird like that. But basically everybody's going to get one. So it does suck. You are unfortunately going to get some bad ones, but you also get really shitty Monday Night Football games too. So, don't act like Thursday night is some fucking bad seed because there are some real stinkers on Mondays. Last Monday's was kind of a shitty game on paper, but watching it, I'm happy I did. The Eagles and the Redskins or the Commanders, because going into it, you're like, Eagles are undefeated. Commanders are just an average team. This should be a blowout by Philly. I really wasn't interested in it. I have no players from either team in fantasy. So for me, both NFC teams also, I'm like, really don't care about
I
this
think he's
game.
looking pretty good, though.
He's looking great. They already basically said Carson Wentz, stick to the bench, buddy. We're sticking with what's working
He's
for the team.
He's 3-1 this year, I believe. as a
Yeah,
starter,
He's doing
which is
really well. I
great,
mean,
yeah.
he helped him in the playoffs. He almost beat Tampa Bay the year Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. Tyler Heineke is no slouch. He's a decent quarterback. But back to Thursday, Carolina and Atlanta. One thing I wanted to bring up here. Did you see the Baker shit?
No, because I wasn't. I didn't
Oh,
watch
you were in Vegas for the whole
I
thing.
didn't watch the game. Yeah.
So after the game, Baker, Mr. Teammate, cheerleader, rah Baker Mayfield decided to greet his teammates at the end of the game as they're celebrating a win by headbutting them while they wore helmets and he didn't.
Did he get knocked out?
No, he was okay, but I mean, the CTE he'll get when he's in his late 30s is going to be ugly. But just a stupid
How hard
move.
was it?
I mean, it was a pretty decent shot. If you have a chance, check it out. But why was he doing that? I had somebody text me right away and say, "Did you see what Baker did?" And they sent me the clip, and immediately I'm like, "That dude is a fucking tryhard. He tries way too hard to like make everybody love him because he's not a great football player. So he needs to win the fans over in
He's
other
going to be
ways."
the biggest cheerleader on the bench because that's where he's at right now. Well,
Well, he's the starter
started
this
this
week
week, yeah.
because of PJ Walker's injury, but which is kind of funny because I almost think they should go with Sam Darnold over Baker, but that's just me. But he was headbutting his teammates, and it's just it looks so stupid. It just sets such a bad example to children. The NFL's trying to clean up brain injuries and head injuries, and you've got this fucking idiot headbutting his teammates with no helmet on. So all it's going to take is some little dipshit in Oklahoma whose parents are Boomer Sooners to fucking watch their kid on the Pee Wee game headbutting his teammates.
I wish his teammates would have just given a little back.
You could even kind of see their eyes under the helmets where they're kind of like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" Like none of them were impressed. They all fucking hate him. It's just such a try hard move. It's a bro move. Like
It's a look at me moment.
it's something like the drunk guy at the frat party. He's
It's
like,
the,
"Fuck yeah," smashing
It's
cans
the,
on his head and
catch the beer,
shit.
smash the beer,
Exactly.
drink it while shooting. Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
we've seen that before.
It's so annoying to me. It's like, just go out there, be a good teammate. Go out there and fucking shake your teammate's hand like a man. You're headbutting them after a game.
Right.
You beat the Falcons on Thursday Night Football.
Did
You have like
did he get into play?
no, I don't think he played on
So
Thursday.
how did Walker get hurt?
I don't know. He hurt his ankle somehow. Maybe it was during the game. I didn't watch the game, to be honest. I
Did
didn't watch
Baker headbutt his ankle at the end of the game? Is that why
He gave him the old Tanya Harding. Yeah. Yeah.
Conspiracy.
He used that stupid head of his because his head is actually as big as it is on that fucking statue they made for him.
It's like fucking Peyton Manning.
It's made of the bronze. It really is. That's why he can headbutt people. It doesn't hurt him. He's like fucking not Magneto, the other guy that's the big metal dude from X-Men. I forgot his name.
Chrome Dick. Yeah.
Colossus, that's it, yeah. Chrome Dick works too. That's what Baker Mayfield's literally made out of that. But just such a shitty thing, like seeing him do that. I was annoyed all over again about the guy. I hate talking about him, but he keeps staying relevant for Cleveland.
How often are we going to talk about?
Well, just when I thought like it's done, he's on the bench. Don't never have to speak to him
Just
again.
when you think you're out, they pull you
He's
back
headbutting
in.
people, and what happens? Now he's starting on Sunday against the Ravens. So of course I have to talk about him again next week because he's playing our division rival. So I got to keep my fucking eyes on Baker at all
So
times.
was it a good game? I didn't
I barely watched it. No, it was
Okay.
shitty. It was rainy. Atlanta's offense looked like ass. Marcus Mariota. There were literally people discussing like, are you going to bench him for Desmond Ritter yet? Because Marcus Mariota looked like that. He looked that bad.
He's falling apart. Now.
Yeah,
he
they
started off
look
pretty
terrible.
good. The beginning of the year for him was okay. I mean, he was
Yeah.
moving the ball, running the ball. He looked okay against us too.
Which that usually happens for quarterbacks like that because you got to think about it. Marcus Mariota by no stretch has been good. He's considered a bust in NFL terms. He was a top 5 pick by the Titans, and he has proceeded to suck. He's been a backup with the Raiders. He was now signed with the Falcons to initially be a backup to Matt Ryan, who then got traded. So Marcus Mariota got pushed into the starting role. But again, he was a Heisman winner, if I'm not mistaken, or at least a Heisman contender when he was at Oregon.
Mariota?
Yeah. He was at least a
think
contender.
he
I don't
was a
remember if he
winner
won or
in the
not.
second place, yeah.
So he's a good football player. He was drafted high, so he's a good football player. He's got talent. Seeing him put it together for the first few weeks of the season while he's getting adjusted to new teammates and while NFL defenses aren't sure what to expect from him, it looks like he's gotten figured out now, and that's been his problem. He's looked good in flashy moments, and then reality sets in.
Right.
So I think that's what's happening right now with him, but there are legitimate discussions, of benching him, and they should. I think you're 4-6. What do you really have going for you?
You got to see what you got in the kid.
Play your rookie
You
quarterback.
gotta see what you
Exactly.
got.
You let him sit long enough. It's not like Desmond Ritter is some like fucking 7th round bum. The
Right.
dude literally took Cincinnati to the playoffs in college football. That's nothing to slouch at. Did they get embarrassed? Sure. But
Did he, or did that defense take him to the playoffs?
he helped. I mean, he had a good year. He was a good quarterback last year.
Sure.
So seeing him play, if you're Atlanta, do that because you have no future with Mariota.
Right.
Why waste the time?
See what you got on him now, because who knows, you might have to go draft another one next year.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's short-lived nowadays in the NFL. Speaking of short-lived, that game was short-lived by me watching it because it was ass. and it's on Amazon Prime, so it's so fucking inconvenient. Like if it goes to a commercial, I can't just change the channel. I just sit there and watch Amazon commercials. So eventually, I just get bored. I turn on my cable, my YouTube TV, and I don't go back to Amazon Prime. And that's what
What's your
happened on
thoughts of
Thursday.
the Amazon broadcast this year? Pretty cool. I mean, what I've seen of it looks pretty legit.
It's cool. But like you said, the matchups aren't really catching my eye. So there's a lot of games where I don't even bother watching, like Philly Houston a few weeks
Right.
ago. I watched for like 20 minutes. Philly was blowing them out. I turned it off. Tomorrow night's game should be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
You have Titans and Packers. That should actually be a really fun one. So we'll talk about that later. But if it's a good matchup, I watch. I think the broadcast is really good. I think at times that's why they need good matchups. Al Michaels sounds bored as fuck. Like he literally sounds like,
I think Al Michaels is getting a little more ballsy with what he says.
yeah, because he's allowed. They can say whatever the fuck they want now on Amazon. They have no like cable laws or anything like that from the FCC. They can do technically whatever they want.
What annoys me, and I only watch it, I've only been watching it on Thursdays because I bowl on Thursdays. I put on my phone and watch it. But what I'm noticing is that the fact that it'd be annoying to me to have to flip out of, like you said, Amazon, go into another cable provider.
That's why like
And while you're on cable, you can go back and forth,
Yeah.
and forth. But
Amazon needs some like channel options or something, or they need to have like I don't know how it would work. I mean, they would have to agree with YouTube TV to have like an actual channel on like a cable
They
thing.
need to buy like a YouTube or Hulu Live and combine it into Amazon, like Amazon
Basically,
Live.
truly, like it is annoying.
So
Like
let Amazon take the world over.
I just change it. I get bored. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to YouTube TV, and then I forget because I have a bad memory. So I'll just scroll through, and I'm like, all right, what was I watching before? And I'm like, oh, I'll watch this movie, and then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, I just missed the last hour of the football
Yep,
game because
yep.
it's on a totally different app.
Yep.
I
feel like
So
we're
it
only
takes-
about
it
10
takes
years
getting
away
used
from
to.
it happening anyways, where they just buy everything up and it's all right there.
Yeah, we're gonna be the United States of Bezos. That dude's gonna own everything.
It's like he looks like a Dr. Evil anyways.
Yeah, he does.
He flew his penis spaceship
He immediately
to space.
he flew a dick in space. He's bald.
100% Dr. Evil.
Divorced his wife. Like immediately got a young hot girlfriend. Like
Michael
that
Myers
dude's
needs
not
to
fucking
be
around.
suing him for fucking infringement of his character.
Or who? Yeah, did he write the character? Whoever created
He
it?
did write the
Did he?
character,
No shit.
yeah. He
I mean,
owns Austin Powers and
Or should Bezos sue Mike Myers because Mike Myers ripped off Jeff Bezos? Think about it that way.
Ooh,
I would watch that. I would watch that court case more than the Amber Heard Johnny Depp personally. I would want to only if Mike Myers has to show
Shows
up
up as
as
Dr.
Dr. Evil.
Evil.
If he shows up as himself, I don't give a fuck. He needs to be dressed like Dr.
He
Evil.
walks in with the cat and everything. Just
Oh,
pets it while he's-
and obviously can't get the old one back, but get a mini me. He needs to have a mini me
There's
with
other
him.
midgets out there you can bring back.
There's plenty of them. Just shave their heads and put a
Yeah.
bald cap on.
They
It'll
all
be
look the
fine.
same. It's fine.
First game in Germany.
Yeah, that threw me off because when we showed up to the stadium,
Yeah,
it was
for
at
you,
8
it's 6
a.m.
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I showed up at 8 a.m., I'm like, why? Is
You
it-
guys had to get there that early.
Yeah. we had
I
to
mean,
get
I
there-
guess for your internal clock, it's 11 o'clock. It's
Yeah.
not that bad.
So you have to get there. We get there at 8, and I'm just like, fuck, why is there a game? Oh, I think there's a Germany game.
Yeah,
The
it
best
started
part
at
of that
9
game
a.m.
was them showing the fans fucking drinking Steins out.
Dude,
the
that
side.
was incredible. And I joked with my buddy because my buddy's a big Seahawks fan. And I said, because the guys holding the signs they showed were in Seahawks jerseys, and the Seahawks obviously lost. So I was talking shit. And I'm like, man, you have to be wasted to enjoy the Seahawks today. And he's just laughing at it.
Man, they know how to party out there.
It
Bunch
looked
of
like it's
fucking
really
Germans.
fun. I think it did well enough to where there's no question about it. They're going back.
How far are we off from the NFL having like a European division?
You know, that's always been talked about. There's been a lot of people that always ask, like, when is there going to be a team in England? And the defense that I always use of why I don't think it'll ever happen. Maybe they make a minor league. They did used to do that. They used to have NFL Europe where they had like basically minor league teams over there. I think they would do something like that. Only because imagine you're the Britain fucking whoever, you're some new football team in Britain. You have the number 1 pick in the draft. You take the hottest quarterback coming out of college, and that guy says, there's no fucking way I'm moving to England.
Yeah.
All my friends, family, everybody's here in America. I don't care how much money you give me. I'm not moving to England.
Pulling the old Eli.
Because then it gets really fucking hard too, because away games, home games, you literally have to travel across the fucking pond. Like those are long flights, miserable flights for these guys, especially if you're a brand new expansion team. You're going to suck. It's going to be like the Browns, the Texans, when all these teams came. So you're going to have these high paid diva athletes having to fly across the fucking pond every other week after getting their asses kicked. These guys are going to be fucking miserable.
I mean, there has to be some like 20-year plan that he has built in right now with doing all these games in England, now Germany. Like
I think they're just
the
going to continue
Mexico
to do
ones.
this.
I think the Mexico one's planned too. I'm sure his plans to move in a team into Mexico, which would probably be easier, obviously.
Yeah, that travel wise, I think nothing across the pond is feasible for the NFL. I think a Canadian team, I think a team in Mexico is very, very doable.
The Mounties.
I
Yes,
would
give me a
love that.
Canadian team.
What's up, Robert? Welcome back.
What's up, Robert?
I do think that's very, very doable. Anybody across the pond, though, no fucking way. I do think, though, that what they're going to do is, seeing the success of how excited the fans are, they'll just continue to do, instead of doing a handful of games a year, maybe they literally do one game a week is played overseas in some place. They're going to play in Germany. They're going to play in England. They're going to play they can go to fucking Australia, which is a hell of a plane ride, I've heard. So that would be terrible for the players. But they could play in damn near any continent, any country, whatever.
I just want an NFL team now named the Koalas. That'd be great.
That could be one of the European teams, maybe.
The Koalas.
I would watch them. They would suck. With a name like that, there's no way you're ever going to be good. But I think that's what's going to happen is eventually we're going to have 17 games overseas.
But
And it's
that
going
would
to
be
be one a
kind of
week.
cool to have like a minor league down there to have like just like a 8-team. Like
I mean, they
8
did, but it
teams,
just
6
it
teams.
failed. I remember way back in the day, I would play on Madden and I would beat the shit out of the NFL Europe teams just because they were not good. But it's a thing. They could try it. I think they should. I know they were trying to reach an agreement with like the XFL to do like a minor league thing, but
Well, the XFL signed so many NFL deals this year, though. I'm not saying it's because of The Rock, but the team he brought in, they've signed a lot of deals with the NFL. I think the XFL is going to be used for a lot of testing with the NFL.
right, and
wants
that's
to
what's
do.
going to hurt this. That's why I don't think there will ever be like a minor league thing in overseas because of that. Because
they're
the
using
XFL is
the
going to have.
XFL for testing a lot of their shit.
Because same thing with the players. The player, if your agent calls and says, "Hey, the Frankfurt fucking hot dogs wants
the wieners.
the Frankfurt wieners, the Frankfurters want to sign you, or you could go play for the fucking Alabama whoever in the XFL with the Rock." That guy's gonna go.
Cousins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down there, the Alabama cousin fuckers. I'm gonna go play with them. Give me a 2-year contract with the Alabama cousin fuckers. But I mean, there's so many different things they could do. I just think the smartest thing for the NFL is just to maybe expand with more games in other places. That's the best thing you could do. Don't try to make a franchise. Don't get too cute. What others don't. No other sport's done that because I think they all realize that it wouldn't be sustainable. It's too hard for
Plus,
traveling
looking
and
at
stuff like that.
these European stadiums, which are sometimes bigger than an NFL
They're
stadium,
huge.
they sell them out.
Oh,
I
they
mean,
do.
The NFL makes a shit ton of money. off
And
of
my
that.
worry would be that if you overdo it, the
You're gonna lose
fans
that
over there are going to be
concentration.
like, it's
Yeah.
not cool anymore. Right
Right.
now, it's a parody. When it goes out there, they're like, fuck yeah, this only comes a couple times a year. I'm excited. Now it's going to be every week I get to see it.
Do you
Fans
think
are going to be like, fuck it, I don't want to
You
go.
think when they go to a game, they say they have to say they're going to watch American football, or is
Oh,
it
they have to.
football?
Yeah, they have to because I don't even know. Yeah, maybe they just call it soccer. They just switch it around.
The roller,
Yeah.
the Uno reverse.
We just watched Tom Brady have a soccer match against the Seahawks. They don't know sports overseas. Fucking idiots.
they know football and drinking. Those are the two.
That's
most
it. You have to do a lot of drinking. I also saw like the Seahawks are still bitching about the turf. The field conditions were terrible in Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people said that turf was awful. They were changing cleats left and right. Tom Brady fell trying to run that route because the grass was so fucking bad. I bust my buddy's balls. That's the Seahawks fan. I keep telling him, I'm like, if you tell Pete Carroll to shut the fuck up, the game was like a week ago. He's still crying about it. Like they lost. Get over it. But yeah, the grass was terrible. So they're gonna have to work on
I
something
thought
like
Tom
that.
Brady just fell because he knew the ball wasn't supposed to come to him, and he just like fell down so he didn't get hurt.
Oh, he was like waving. He was like, "Fucking give it to me. This is the Philly special." And then he ate shit. Got picked up. Horrible play, but they still ended up winning the game. Tampa Bay wins 21-16. The thriller in Buffalo,
Dude, I texted you in the pool. I'm like, this game's fucking crazy.
which is nuts because the Vikings won that game outright.
Yeah.
They should have. The Vikings
The
on
12-man,
on
I
one of
think.
their stops of Dalvin Cook when they stopped him on that fourth down play or whatever, one of the goal line stops. The Bills had 12 men on the field.
Yeah. Do you see the subtle slap for the coach? At the
Yeah.
end? It's like we're working on a play right now that can go against 12 players in defense.
Yeah, it's fucking
We're not
bullshit.
there yet, though.
The refs missed that call. So you're like, whatever, that sucks. It's probably going to cost Minnesota the game. Josh Allen fumbles the snap. Really had nowhere to go anyway. He was going to just try to do a quarterback draw to try to
Just
get
take
like
the safety. You still have the chance to win that game.
that's what they should have done because then they would have had to punt with like 40 seconds. You have to make the Vikings get into field goal range without any timeouts with like 40 seconds to go or whatever
Which
it was.
how they were playing that game, they easily could have done.
Easily could have, but I would have rolled the dice there.
Yeah.
Instead, Josh Allen fumbles, picked up by the Vikings, touchdown. And then the Bills get the ball with 40-something seconds to go.
There's Bill fans in front of us who are like, they're gonna go fucking down and tie it up. Like, no fucking way. No, and they did.
And they shouldn't have. That's another instance where the Vikings got screwed because that Gabriel Davis catch on the sideline was not a catch.
Oh yeah, no, he hit the ground.
And you're under a minute. You're under 2 minutes. So no coaching challenges, but the officials need to make that call. They need to stop the game. They need to be professional. They let it go. And everybody after the replay was like, that's not a catch. Like the refs should have stopped that game.
They replayed it over and
Yeah.
over and over again. You saw.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they even went to Gene
easily the
Steratore or
Jefferson's
whoever.
catch was the best catch I've ever seen.
Oh, that was nuts. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Pulls it out of that guy's hands.
Yeah,
It should have been an
one-handed,
interception.
just palmed the ball
That's
to
better
himself.
than Odell's catch by far.
Oh yeah, no question about it. That Jefferson catch was on. I agree. with you. That's the best catch I've ever seen.
But, yeah,
But the refs really tried to fuck Minnesota like multiple times. Minnesota had that game won, and the refs were like, "Nah, well, let's keep it going. Let's see what happens here."
Yeah.
So shame on the officials. I really think that
There's
like
no shadiness in NFL.
for me, it just shows you that like the amount of bad calls that happened for the Browns. It's like, it happens to a lot of other teams too, and that's what Browns fans need to realize also.
Is it safe to say the NFL officiating just needs some help? Like they need retraining possibly?
It's not even that. I think like that call, they called it a catch because maybe that ref he thought it was a catch. Okay, that's fair. That's where you need the people that are in your ear to be quicker and to be professional and go, no. It may have looked like a catch to you, but we're still going to look at it just to be safe. Even if it takes 30 seconds, you look at it and go, oh, yeah, that was absolutely a clean catch. Go out there and just say the play
Don't
stands
the
done.
refs have the ability to stop that ball like from them hiking it again? Like they can
Yeah.
stop and say we're reviewing the catch.
What would happen is he makes the catch, quote unquote. They call it a catch. Everyone's running up there to get the ball lined up. While it's getting lined up, the officials can call down. They have people that like in New York or whatever watching the game would contact them and say, stop, do not let them snap this. The Bills clearly knew it wasn't a catch because they ran up to quick snap it, but the refs are usually faster than the snap.
Yeah.
They would blow the whistle and say, no, don't do it. Instead, they let him get the playoff, and that's it. Water under the bridge. Gabriel Davis got the quote-unquote catch that almost fucked the Vikings over. So they need to really do a better job with that. Minnesota, of course, wins 33-30 in overtime, for those of you that didn't see it.
One of the best games this year.
And another thing that's funny is didn't the Bills went for it on a fourth down play, right? And they
Yes.
didn't get it, where they could have kicked a field goal.
They went for it. Wasn't it like 4th and like 8 or something?
Yeah,
like
it was a really strange call, and McDermott like justified it afterwards. But that's what's funny is that you've got the Bills, arguably one of the best teams in football, a Super Bowl contender, Sean McDermott, or AKA Brian Daboll Light. He is going to be coach of the year possibly, or at least he's a candidate. I think he was coach of the year last year. Great coach, going for it on fourth down. It backfired. It cost them the game. Bills fans are like, all right, Josh Allen came out and just said, all right, it's time to regroup. We're moving on. Browns fans hate Kevin Stefanski
We'd
because
be
he goes
burning
for
the
it.
fucking
They
city
would go
down.
nuts. And that's what's crazy to me is that good teams do the same shit the Browns do.
Where's
and
that Browns
they
fucking
lose.
scroll at?
And
Tim?
yeah, Browns fans are fucking dumb. Look around the NFL. Kevin Stefanski's not the only coach in the NFL going for it on fourth down, you fucking dummies. And at the same time, Kevin Stefanski has the third highest percentage of getting those fourth downs in the NFL. Browns fans don't want to hear that though, because it's like that. There's like the meme or whatever that goes around that says something like the teacher does 1 times 7 and she writes 8. Everything else she does is right. She's 2 times 7, 14, 3 times 7, 21, goes all the way down. And all the kids laugh at is you fucked up one out of 7. And she goes, I got 9 out of 10 right. All they focus on is the one wrong thing you do.
Because
And that's so
everybody-
true. Because look at Stefanski.
Our society wants nothing more than to call out when one person goes wrong.
Like I saw a guy today, somebody posted about the snowstorm in Buffalo in this British Browns backers page
yeah,
that I'm a fan of, or I'm a group member of. And somebody posted like, I wonder if they're even going to play the game. They just posted about the weather report. First comment in there, doesn't matter what the weather is. I bet Stefanski still throws it on 3rd and 1. And it got like a bunch of laughs and like people are loving it. And it's like, how many times has that fucking worked? It's worked so many times this year and you guys are still mad about it. How dumb are you? They would rather Nick Chubb fall forward to get 2 yards than throw it 30 yards down the field to Cooper or Donovan Peoples-Jones, which we've completed many of those.
Sure.
They would rather see Nick Chubb fall forward for 1 yard than get 30 yards in the air because they're dumb. You're dumb,
If
Browns
you got
fans.
6 feet of snow in Buffalo and it's still snowing, guess what you're not doing? Throwing the fucking ball.
Or you can, but it's not going to go well for you. You can try it. And that's the other thing. I got into a little discussion today with my friends. We do our weekly predictions with each other, just joking around in a group text. And I picked the bye to beat Seattle this week. For those of you looking at them, but we were talking about the Browns game, and I said it's going to be ugly. I said it could be like a 9-6 game because of field goals or something like that, or a touchdown on the ground with a missed extra point because it's too snowy. So like 9-6 was my joking guess. And my one buddy's like, Josh Allen's going to put up 40 points. That he played at Wyoming. I'm like, the fuck does that have to do with anything? And I quickly screenshot last year's Monday Night Football game, if you remember.
Oh yeah, the one
Bills against the Patriots.
Patriots.
Windy, snowy, shitty day.
Shit.
They couldn't throw the ball. It was like a 14-12
It
game.
was really windy though too.
And it was super windy. And there was I don't even think there was snow. It was just windy. Now you're going to be going up against feet of snow. And they're like, oh, he'll be fine. He played at Wyoming. Like, that's all that matters.
Yeah. That was a game where they did practice warm kicks and the bike kicked it and it just came back.
You watch the ball, like, just fucking, it looked like a knuckleball. It was nuts. In the NFC North, you have the Lions 31, Bears 30. Justin Fields continues to carry my fantasy football team. I can't believe I got him on waivers. I couldn't be happier.
Well, that's not going to happen the rest of the year, but it's okay.
I think as long as he keeps getting touchdowns, I don't give a fuck if they win. Keep running that ball, Mr. Fields. I don't give a shit about your record at all. Kansas City wins pretty easily against Jacksonville. Jacksonville tried for about a quarter or so, and then shit ended pretty quickly. New York Giants handled the Texans. The Giants moved to 7-2. Saints lose to the Steelers. Ugly fucking game. Really ugly. Like you said, the TJ Watt factor is real. Do I think that his presence makes that big of a difference against better opponents? To be determined with this current offense that they have.
Defense probably like on fire. Like you got them like lit up
Oh, yeah.
and ready to go.
And that was without Minka Fitzpatrick. He missed the game. So it was just TJ Watt out there. Their other
I
good
still
defense
don't think
player
it's
wasn't
worth
there.
bringing him back this year to re-injure if he gets hurt again, but that's not my team. So
No, I mean, I agree with you. Even Lee said it last week. Lee said no sense in bringing him back right now, but they're going to go for it. I mean, as much as I hate the Steelers, they do have the same record as the Browns. We, of course, own the tiebreaker, though, right now. But they are 3-6 as well. They beat the lowly Saints, who are sticking with Andy Dalton for some reason, who has looked like shit for the last month. I don't understand why, but they're sticking with him. The Broncos lose to the Titans in another shitty game. Ryan Tannehill comes back 17-10. Broncos are ass, 3-6. Colts somehow beat the fucking Raiders. It's almost as if Josh McDaniels just trying to lose. I don't understand how you lose that game.
he wants to go back to New England, buddy.
He didn't have to leave then if he wants to go back. Nobody made him take the job in Las Vegas, but that was ugly. You lost to Jeff Saturday in his coaching debut. This guy had 3 days to prepare.
Same
You're
guy.
Josh McDaniels. You're supposed to be some offensive guru. You've been a head coach now twice in the NFL. You've been an offensive coordinator on how many Super Bowl winning offenses with Tom Brady and the Green Bay or the New England Patriots, and you lose to fucking an old center who hasn't coached a day in his life.
Did you see the tweet that he tweeted out like a month ago about how the
Oh yeah,
Raiders were horrible?
we talked about that last week. He's like the Raiders suck.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he plays them, and
First
everyone's
coach in
thinking like
history to be able to go out and talk shit.
he
and then
should have
go coach.
retweeted it. I think that would have been fucking awesome if he went home and retweeted it and just put like still stands and just did that. Like that'd be fucking ballsy. I would love that guy.
Watch him go like the next 3 games in his wins, all 3 of them.
Breaking news: I think that winning streak comes to a real quick ending this Sunday. But spoiler alert, we'll get to that later. Colts are 4-5-1. Raiders are 2-7. They suck. Cowboys lose to the Packers in overtime.
That was a
Fun
good game, too.
game. It was a really, really
2
good game.
games on Sunday worth watching.
Yeah. 31-28. Packers come back. Aaron Rodgers throws 3 touchdowns. Christian Watson, the rookie.
Glad he woke up a little bit that game. Finally.
I am too, because I have him in another fantasy league, so I got some good quarterback points this week. The Cardinals beat the Rams. Colt McCoy takes on, I don't even remember the fucking name of the Rams backup quarterback, but it was a battle of backup quarterbacks.
Whitey McPherson.
That sounds about right for me. For all I know, it could be. I think it was Shane Falco was quarterback for the Rams.
Sugar Fane Falco. What was his nickname? Was it Shane Falco? What was his actual nickname? Sugar or something? Or no, it was the Sugar Bowl that he played in that lost all that money or something.
Yeah, he threw the game in something. Yeah, I don't remember him having a nickname.
But the
yeah,
biggest story
game.
there is Cup, right? I mean,
Yeah, Cooper Kupp going on IR. He's hurt, had surgery. He's going to miss an extended period of time, which is smart. At this point, if you're banged up, there's no sense in trying. The Rams are done. They're 3-6. They have no shot at just about anything. They're not very good. Sunday Night Football, Chargers tried to hold on to a lead against the Niners, and the Niners just overcame them. I give the Chargers credit. The Chargers tried. They were winning for most of that game, and then the fourth quarter, the wheels
San
fell off.
Francisco is a team to be reckoned with right now.
For sure, for sure.
And it's just funny to me. And who's quarterback still? I mean,
Jimmy G.
Yeah, that's weird. What that
Jimmy
team
G.
does.
They had Christian McCaffrey. Debo got that huge deal in the offseason. Then he got all fat, and he's not very good this year. But they're still winning. So more power to them. San Francisco, like you said, though, they're that sneaky team that you see them and you're just like, whatever, it's the Niners. It gives a shit. And then last year, 1 game away from the Super Bowl. 2 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Like, that's a team that.
And I don't doubt that they'll go deep in the playoffs this year either.
They should. It just depends on the way it lines up for them, which seeding they get. Then Monday Night Football, as we said earlier, the Commanders upset the Eagles 32-21.
I think the Eagles just kind of laid off the gas a little bit. 8-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8-0, and they're just like, fuck it, whatever. And I don't think they tried hard enough.
No, not at all. I mean, that's the other thing too, is you probably want to lose eventually.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't want this pressure on us every week of trying to win. Not that, and I'm not saying they went out there and lost on purpose, but I also feel like it's probably a relief after you lose. Now it's like, let's get back to the basics. Now we don't have that pressure anymore.
Right.
However, though,
you don't have the Dolphins team showing up with big drinking champagne bottles at your games.
The crazy thing though for the Eagles is at 8-1, you think, fuck, they're going to run away with the division. Like the Vikings are going to run away with the NFC North. But the Giants are 7-2. They are right behind the Eagles. Cowboys are 6-3, right behind them. Like that's a good division.
The NFC East would be stacked like that.
Even the Commanders 5-5. They're not far away. So that's a really good division. And that's a division we all thought was going to pretty much suck. And then you have the AFC West that we thought was going to be dominant. Like all 4 teams we thought were going to be in the playoffs. 3 of them suck, kind of. So it's interesting the way the NFL works out, but that's usually how it goes. Never fails. Now, we move back to baseball really quick because the Guardians, of course, made some moves yesterday I wanted to talk about. First one being they traded my boy Nolan Jones. Prospect, high expectations, good power hitter. I bought his autographed game used bat from an auction site for dirt cheap. I swear to God, I got it for like $10. But I was just hoping he would turn out to be a good player. He's a really cool autograph. I was excited, a Guardians player. After sleeping on it and doing a little more digging, I understand the trade now. Mm-hmm. He is a corner outfielder with Oscar Gonzalez in right, Stephen Kwan in left. Not a lot of playing time. He tried to move to third base. He could also play third base if needed. We kind of have a pretty decent third baseman over there named Jose Ramirez.
Oh, him. Yeah, okay.
So for me, I kind of thought, though, there were 2 spots that I thought of for Nolan Jones in his future with Cleveland, and I've talked about it on the show. First base or DH.
Which they tried, yeah.
And that's the funny thing that you say that because our buddy Greg, I want to tell you this in person. So I did text him last night about the Nolan Jones trade. And he said, well, it makes sense because there's really nowhere for Nolan Jones to play. He was the odd man out. And I just said, well, I thought they would try him at first base, at least just experiment in spring training, something like that. Greg's response, that's dumb, period. That's all he puts. So I see that and I kind of like, the fuck? He's got a little sass to him today.
Expand.
So I'm like waiting. I'm like, I'll let him try to explain himself. And then he went on a rant basically saying how Cleveland fans are dumb. They think that any baseball player.
Cleveland fans are dumb.
He said Cleveland sports fans are dumb. They think any player can just change positions in the majors. And he's like, that's just not the case. It's not how it works. So he was kind of directing that at me. So I went back at him and I said, they tried Nolan Jones at first base in the minor leagues, albeit not a long time. He only played one game, but before you play that one game, you do have to practice. You do have to learn. So like behind the scenes, he's playing first base. They didn't just wake up one day and say, Nolan, you're going to first, never done it before.
Right.
He worked his way into it. He did play one game, but I do remember reading that he played first base before. So that's all I thought was they would try him there for spring training.
Right.
I didn't say he's going to be our everyday first base.
That's dumb.
So the way Greg saw it was, that's dumb. Players don't change positions. I'm like, well, he fucking did it already in the minors. They already played him at
So what
first
was
base.
his argument to the reason why I didn't mention?
And then he went, well, it was only one game, so blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. But I said, at least I know that I wasn't talking out of my ass when I told you that.
Arguing with Greg is fun.
And he changed the subject pretty quickly and invited me to a whiskey event. So I think we're on good terms again.
Oh,
But
there you go.
he
Yeah.
immediately was super fucking sassy about it. But I did think that Nolan Jones would be either the first baseman or could compete for DH because we don't have a fucking DH either. I mean, there were guys playing DH in the playoffs where I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I don't even know who it is. So the trade of Nolan Jones was a little bit of a shocker at first. But again, after doing some deep research, they got a guy, Juan Brito, who has a really good walk to strikeout ratio, which is what the Guardians look for. He's a good contact hitter. He's a middle infielder. That's a guy in the future, which right now, Andres Jimenez not going anywhere. That's our second baseman for the foreseeable future. Now, Ahmed Rosario at shortstop, that's a guy who's, if I'm not mistaken, is a free agent. Maybe the Guardians try to keep him on a decent contract. I don't think they're going to overpay him. I think he could get a good haul if he goes somewhere else.
Right.
Don't think the Guardians are going to let him go. Or I'm sorry, I don't think the Guardians are going to overpay for him, I should say. But I'm also not saying Juan Brito is going to be called up immediately and be our starting everyday
Is he
shortstop.
coming into Double A or Triple A?
I'd have to double check him. If I'm not
He's
mistaken. I
what,
think
21,
he's
right?
young. I think he
Yeah.
did both. I think
Okay.
last year, but he's a good hitter. Hits for contact. He
He doesn't
reminds me.
strike out. I did
He
see his
reminds me of a
stats.
Stephen Kwan. Not a lot of. He hits a little more power than Kwan, but he hits for average.
Both sides of the plate too, right?
I think he's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. And hits for average. He gets more walks than strikeouts. Does really well in that aspect. So for that makes sense. Also, the biggest factor with the Nolan Jones trade that I thought about was Nolan Jones is out of options. No longer has any minor league options.
Oh, okay.
So the Guardians having him on their 53-man or their 25-man major league roster means if they need to make a different move and he's the odd man out, they have to release him basically. Like you have to get rid of him. So to trade him and get anybody, which Juan Brito, I think I read, has 3 options left in his career. So we got a guy with 3 options, a guy you can move up, call down, whatever. That's good to have that flexibility because if you don't do that, then you're kind of screwed.
Right.
Because Nolan Jones would be here, and then you might lose him for absolutely nothing. So the Guardians are looking at it as like, here's a guy who's more than likely not going to be an everyday player. He's a talented player, but we also might have to just get rid of him. So we don't want to do that.
And they might see a bigger ceiling on the guy we just traded for.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have a plethora of middle infielders, and Juan Brito is just
It's
added
like
to it.
Pokemon cards, but collecting all of
I
them.
mean, they're good, but we do need some guys with power to also play first base, catcher, DH, etc. So definitely keep your eyes peeled there. I don't think the Guardians are done making moves, but that was an interesting one yesterday. I just wanted to make a note of that. I like my man Nolan Jones. I was excited. I like rooting for some prospects when they get called up and just seeing their careers go.
Maybe
So
he'll go and get to the major league and do well at the Rockies and shit.
and
but
that's the other thing
who
too.
knows?
He's got a lot of power. He's a good hitter, Nolan Jones. He's going to play in a very hitter-friendly park if he stays with Colorado and makes the major league roster, etc. So sky's the limit for him. So kudos to him. I'll be a Nolan Jones fan forever as long as he continues to be decent. If he sucks, then I'm going to forget about him. But like
You saw his bat though, so you hope he does well though.
it's like Lonnie Chisenhall. Like I loved Chisenhall when we called him
I
up.
did like Lonnie.
I was
Chisenhall,
really
man.
excited. I was at his first game. He hit a home run against the Yankees. I was there. I was so pumped. I was like, this fucking dude, like, this is going to be historic. I'm going to get to watch this kid grow as a player. I was at his first game, like, and the next thing you know, he kind of sucked. We got rid of him. He fell out of baseball. And I'm like, fuck, I wasted a lot of time on that guy. But what can you do?
It's kind of like me and Baker Mayfield. I get so excited for him.
I mean, everybody did
By the way,
there.
did you take all your Baker stuff down in the basement?
No, it's still there.
Oh, okay.
It's still there. I'll get rid of it. I wait till I get something to replace it. Right now, I don't have any. Like I have a big 16x20 autographed Baker picture. That's like damn near the middle piece of my basement. I have Myles Garrett as my main piece, and then Baker right underneath it. And I don't have anything to replace it right now, so I'm like, fuck it, it's just gonna sit there. And then Stephen Kwan, robbed of second place. I'm going to preface that. I don't think he should have won Rookie of the Year. I think that, of course, was going to Rodriguez. There's no doubt about it, as it did. Stephen Kwan, though, came in third place. And when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? They gave, what's his name? I don't even remember his fucking name. Adley Rutschman, second place, the catcher for the Baltimore Orioles, second place of Rookie of the Year. Now let me learn you motherfuckers something right here.
Oh shit.
I have stats. I have facts and figures. Rutschman, 113 games, 254 average, 398 at bats, 101 hits, 13 home runs, 42 RBI.
Okay.
Not bad. Stephen Kwan.
Was he gold glove winner?
Nope.
Okay.
Stephen Kwan, Gold Glove winner,
Okay.
left field.
Ding.
I think that should help your Rookie of the Year campaign when you win a fucking Gold Glove. That should be worth at least a vote or two, in my opinion. What do I know? Stephen Kwan batted 298, damn near 300, which is not unheard of in baseball nowadays.
Right.
People don't hit for 300 anymore. 147 games, so he had over 30 more games played than this guy. 563 at bats, almost over 150 more at bats than this other guy. 168 hits, 6 home runs, 52 RBIs, and 7 triples. And Stephen Kwan got third place.
What was the vote total? Did you look at the whole overall?
I
voting?
did. I forgot. I think Rutschman got one first place vote, and that's probably what gave him the second place finish. But whoever voted for him had to have been an Oriole writer, because it's all voted for by like beat reporters. Whoever voted for him should fucking resign their position. They should never be allowed to vote again. And the fact that Stephen Kwan came in third is literally it's a fucking embarrassment for Major League Baseball.
So if the internet was quicker here, I'm pulling it up right now. So first place votes for, was it Rush? Is it Rutschman?
Abby
Rutschman.
Rutschman, yeah.
He had 18. Oh, he had 1 first place vote, 18 second place vote, and 9 third place votes.
Mhm.
Kwan had. Okay, he had 10 second place votes and 14 third place votes. That doesn't make sense.
And 0 first place votes.
And 0. Okay, there you go. So that's the one.
So the one is that's what put him over. But that's what I'm saying. Whoever gave Rutschman that 1 first place vote should be fucking embarrassed, because there's no way. First off, how do you give him first place over Rodriguez? That's an insult.
Sure.
And then how do you justify giving him a first place vote over a guy like Stephen Kwan, who had better numbers, played more games, had more at bats, which that's a huge factor in a game like baseball, where your stats go off of your average. The more you play, the harder it is for your average to be up. Same thing with shooting. I remember a stat with like the Michael Jordan LeBron argument. There's like a thing with LeBron shot more 3-pointers than Michael Jordan and has a higher average. And fans are like, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. I'm like, that just means like he literally has shot the ball more times and made it more consistently. Like that's actually a really good, a good thing for him. And same goes for Kwan. The guy played more games, had almost 200 more at bats. His average was almost 300. He was consistently great all season. And they go, nah, fuck that guy. It's unbelievable. It's so disrespectful.
It does seem a little unfair, but
it's fucked up.
It doesn't take anything away from the guy. I mean, hell of a fucking year for him.
Hell of a year. I mean, again, you guys know me. I do not celebrate losing. Second place is just the first loser. So that doesn't mean shit. It's just, to me, it was disrespectful when I saw Stephen Kwan finish third. I'm like, what? Don't get me wrong. I knew he wasn't going to win, but fucking third, that's just disrespectful.
You ain't first, you last.
Damn right. Ricky Bobby taught me that. I live by that. That's going on my fucking tombstone. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Stephen Kwan there, our boy. Didn't win. Should have been at least second. I honestly, I thought Stephen Kwan was going to get at least a couple first place votes. I feel like that's justified. Again, you win a Gold Glove, you bat for 300, your team goes to the playoffs.
For like
that's what I thought. Like Rutschman didn't get a Gold Glove, wasn't even in contention that I saw. I barely heard of the guy, truthfully. His stats are nowhere near Stephen Kwan's. The Orioles didn't even make the playoffs. They had a decent season, but they didn't do shit.
Right.
How do you give that guy a first place vote? It's disgusting.
And they stay anonymous, right? You'll never know who they vote.
I don't know, actually. I think you do, because there's a lot of guys that like get called out for their votes on things, and like it makes for really good clips later if you go, hey, you're the guy that voted for this guy for MVP. What the fuck were you thinking? Like you screwed up.
Look and see if we can figure out.
And guys will like hang up. Vote. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure if they do it for Rookie of the Year. I know for like MVP and Cy Young and shit like that, I think they do. They put their name to it because people get called out all the time. It's time to move on. We are tied. I have made the miraculous comeback.
It is 6-game comeback.
It is time for picks, ladies and gentlemen. We are in week 11 of the NFL, and it is time for the Kyle and Justin Tattoo Punishment Pick Challenge.
Sponsored, so we're back to 0.
Sponsored by nobody right now, but maybe I'll have Lee or Dave reach out to Tattoo Therapy Inc. And if they want to sponsor the segment, that'd be kind of cool. the official Tattoo Therapy Inc. pick segment.
Oh,
It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen. Friday when I'm on with Lee, I'm going to tell him to do that. And I'm going to do it while I'm on the air, so he has to talk about it instead of like ignoring it.
We're
and
not
going,
gonna ask him.
we'll talk about it later. Yeah, right on the show. Be like, hey, welcome talking about balls. They're on Wednesday nights. I'm like, hey, speaking of talking about balls, let's do that. I'm just going to go fucking right into it. Brace yourself.
Catch him off guard. Yeah,
Brace yourself, Lee. I'm coming in hot. But all seriousness, let's get right into it. We have Thursday night football. Tennessee Titans taking on the, dare I say, hot Green Bay Packers, coming off a huge win.
No.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers throws 3 touchdowns and beats the Dallas Cowboys. I think that's a nice little warm up.
Yeah, but the Packers are so up and down this year.
They are mostly down. They've been mostly down.
Like I don't know what team we're gonna get on Thursday.
I don't either.
I'll go
Same
first.
thing with the Titans, though.
I'll go first. I'm taking the Titans. I think the Titans win this game. It's gonna be a fun game, like we mentioned earlier. It's gonna be a great Thursday game. Finally, a Thursday good game, but I think the Titans take it.
I'm with you actually. For me, I can't, in good faith, say the Packers are back until I see it consistently.
Sure.
So one win. Was it a fluke? Maybe not. I'm not gonna bet anything on that, especially since I made my comeback.
In typical Packer fashion, everyone's on the waiver wire picking up that receiver that he lit up last Thursday, and he's not gonna get the ball once on Thursday. Watch.
Wait, which one?
The
Christian.
Packer,
Yeah. I think they're about the one that the Packers released their punt returner, Amari Rodgers.
No, I'm saying that everyone's.
That's at first. I'm like, wait, what? And then I was
everyone's
like,
trying to sign that wide receiver,
Christian Watson or whatever.
Watson, and watch he doesn't get the ball maybe twice on Thursday.
There's a good chance. Are you? I want to. This is a decent pick for me. For me, I'm just looking at it as Titans just beat Denver, who's a really good defense. Packers defense isn't very good. I'm gonna write that down there for Tim. I like keeping Tim's picks. I can't pick him though. I need him to win a couple more games.
Verlander, AL Cy Young.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. It also looks like we'll do some talk about the hot stove maybe next week, but it looks like Verlander could be headed to the Dodgers. There's a lot of talk about that. He declined his option from the Astros, so he's going to become a free agent.
Dude, just retire. Go enjoy your wife's boobies.
He does. I mean, he's a pitcher. He likes to play once a week, so I mean, he gets the rest of the time to just fool around with Kate Upton.
Those tatas have not let anybody down over the years.
Yeah, maybe Gravity. I haven't seen him in a while. She's aged. They were already really big, but Gravity's not kind to things like that. But he turned down the option, and then I forgot the name of the guy, Tyler something. I forgot. Tyler Anderson, maybe. The pitcher for the Dodgers, he just signed a deal with the Angels. I'm sorry. So he left LA. There's now an opening spot in their rotation. I don't think they're saving it for Trevor Bauer. I think it's going to go to Justin Verlander, and they're going to back the Brinks truck up because.
Have you heard any updates in the Bauer story? Is he getting anywhere with his suing?
I haven't seen anything for that. I mean, he's still super active on social media. If you haven't seen him lately, he grew his hair out.
Oh yeah.
He looks like shit.
I watch him on TikTok. He goes and he does all these random like pitching seminars against people. And
yeah, he loves pitching against like high schoolers and shit, which is kind of fun. It's cool to see these kids try to hit a major league pitcher. Yeah. It's really fun. I feel bad for the guy. You guys know where I stand with Trevor Bauer. I feel like his name has been pretty well cleared of any wrongdoing, and the fact that he's still being punished just shows you that the cancel culture in the real world in America is fucked up, and nobody's given a second chance. Nobody is innocent until proven guilty. It's just a shame. The same thing with Watson, as we said earlier. There have been enough stories that kind of make you think that a lot of these women were just in it for the money. And everywhere Watson goes for the rest of his career, he's going to be tied to being a rapist and this and that. People are going to talk shit. He's going to get just scolded everywhere he goes. And unfortunately, that's a scarlet letter that he's got to wear for the rest of his life. It's a shame. And same thing with Trevor Bauer. The only difference is obviously Watson is serving a suspension and going to continue his career here in a few weeks, whereas Trevor Bauer may never see a major league field again. And I think that's just a shame.
Sadly.
It is. I liked him a lot, even when he went crazy, threw the ball over center field. We traded him, etc. I'm a Trevor Bauer fan. I like the guy. He's a good pitcher. He's fun. He's energetic. I love the way that he would talk shit about Major League Baseball and like kind of fuck with them a little bit. I just thought he was cool. He was an outlaw, a little bit of a wild card.
I forgot to mention, speaking of cancel culture, that Barbarian movie you recommended a couple weeks ago, trashed.
You didn't like it?
I hated that movie.
Why?
Just the entire story was like fucking like walking a snail down the sidewalk, like just trying to like get to the point of the story. And then you get to the end, you're like, oh, that's all it is. Is this some fucking Hitler read like whatever? And that's all.
Spoiler alert!
Sorry,
Jesus.
But it's like I get that. I watched it on the plane to Vegas, and I mean,
just
watched it.
That's why you were in the wrong atmosphere.
Oh, what atmosphere to be in?
You need to watch it at night in your house. Good sound.
See.
You're sitting there with headphones on, eating fucking Chex Mix, sitting on an airplane. That's not the same thing. Eating Cheez-Its.
It didn't grab me.
Sipping a $12 airplane bottle of Jack Daniels. That's not how you watch Barbarian.
No,
it's way better.
$8 Bud Light can.
Okay, that's fair. That's actually cheaper than I expected. No, I I'm going to wholeheartedly say you are wrong about your assessment. I think if you watch it again,
I don't know if I could ever put
I
myself
also
through
think
that.
though I watched so much horror that it was so different than anything I've watched. I was let down by so many movies lately that
Yeah.
I really like. That's why I was like, okay, this is worth watching because I watch a lot of duds.
I like the idea of the story of like the whole basement. Like there's just the whole fucking like.
All right, for those of you watching or listening right now, spoilers are ahead. So
Sorry.
turn it off right now because I got to talk about some things here with Kyle, and I can't not spoil things by saying this. I loved Bill Skarsgård's acting because initially, did you not think he had something to do with it?
Oh, absolutely.
He was so creepy, and you're like, oh fuck, what did he do?
Right.
And then, spoiler alert,
Gets
his fucking head smashed against,
Yeah.
and you're like, holy shit, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
And then the whole story changes. Then it's like, boom, Justin Long.
No, I get that. Like I was grabbed by maybe the first 45 minutes of the movie. Like I'm
Right.
like, okay, this is intense. Okay, so two people, same house.
Yeah.
Something's going
Don't
on.
get me
shit
wrong,
like
the
that.
concept of it is far fetched.
Sure.
That this dude has like a tunnel underneath all these houses. He's dying,
He's been banging his family. Since
he's
the
been
40s.
creating these inbreds for the last however many years until this monster crazy one is the final like thing. I get it. It's not the most original. It's not the most creative, but it was different.
Yeah.
And I just really loved it. I love Justin Long's character. I like Justin Long a lot.
Yeah,
So his
yeah.
character was fun. I like the same thing with his character. There was a twist of he's claiming innocence, and then as the movie goes on, you realize this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Where
I
he
loved
pushes
the
chick
character
up, yeah.
twist.
Yeah.
I loved that.
And then like at the end where she gets pulled in and she.
Yeah, same thing with her. And I also like that there are social injustices put in the movie too. There's cancel culture that's a topic. She is a what is she, Hispanic maybe? I don't really know what she is ethnicity wise, but she's Hispanic. I'll just say a person of color, a minority, and she's approaching the police after she got held captive. And the cops are like, "Get the fuck out of here, crackhead!" And she was like, "I am a like psychology major. I'm not a crackhead. I can lead you to the house." And they're like, "Fuck off!" Like they don't listen to her. I loved that it shows those like social injustices. I like the movie as
That's
not
fine.
one of my, by no means is it one of my favorite horror movies of like all time. It's just one of my top ones for 2022.
Right. Okay. All right. I get them watching. We were like landing as if we were finishing, like coming into Vegas. I'm like, I look at Jess. I'm
Oh,
like,
so you gotta lift your tray up. You're fucking looking around. You're looking out the window. You guys have never been to Vegas, so you're looking out, going, "Oh, look at the lights. Look at that." You weren't watching the
no,
movie.
we watched
You
it.
gotta give it a second go.
All right. Sorry for going off on a tangent there.
Yeah, he gets me going when he talks bad about my stuff. There's plenty of things Kyle's recommended that I didn't agree with, but I never fucking said anything about it.
Oh, you have.
That
Get the
changes
fuck outta
tonight.
here.
I just got to remember some of them. All right, back to picks.
Oh, your turn.
Chicago Bears, Atlanta Falcons. The way the Falcons have been playing and the way the Bears have been putting up points but finding ways to lose, give me the Bears on this one. I think they find a
Ooh,
way.
We're different here. I take the Falcons out.
All right.
And here's where he takes the lead, maybe.
Yeah, more than likely. This is going to do it right there. Are you? All right, Tim.
Yeah.
Kyle, not going to lie, not great company to be in when Tim's picking the same team as you.
Way to have my back, Tim.
I take that back. Tim went 500 last week. Nothing to slouch at. Not bad at all. Albeit he only made 4 picks, so he went 2 for 4. Not the greatest showing, but not the worst. You've got the Baker Bros taking on the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. This one I think is pretty easy. I'll pick for you, Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Baltimore as well. But bold pick of the week.
Here we go. The bold prediction.
I'm going to take Baker with 3 touchdowns this week.
Baker, 3 TDs. Now, you have to preface 3 passing touchdowns, or are you just saying 3 touchdowns overall?
3 touchdowns overall.
Okay, 3 overall touchdowns.
Baker gets happy feet when he gets in 10 yards of the end zone. So
You got a lot of faith thinking he's going to get within 10 yards of the end zone against the Ravens on Sunday. Tim, what are you working with?
I got the Panthers.
Really? He's total opposites.
okay, I was like
Tim's a fan of the underdog. I'm starting to sense a trend here. Tim is literally picking every Vegas underdog, I think, so far.
Tim's going for that $25 buy-in and like a $5,000 payout.
I respect it. This is the slot where we would put the Cleveland Buffalo game. We'll save that to the end. I just went ahead and filled in my pick right there because it wasn't a fucking spoiler. I told you all it was going to be. No surprise.
Did you put Snow down as the winner?
Yeah, I put not the Heat Miser. Who's the other one? The Freeze Miser, whatever the fuck he's called.
I forget it's Mr. Freeze or some shit. No, it's that Batman.
Yeah, whatever. My pick is the Abominable Snowman. That's who's going to win on
I
Sunday.
don't know what the name of that guy is. I'm singing the song in my head now.
Yeah, I know it's like all I can think of is Mr. Heat Miser. I don't know. Somebody in the comments, if you're watching and you know who's the cold guy in those weird clay things from back in the day that looked like somebody was on an acid trip when they made them. you can give me the name of the guy, I would
Those-
really appreciate
those are
it.
the best Christmas cartoons.
They're fun because you can just watch them and you're like, God, this fucking
You
sucked.
can
Like,
see like the as slow motion where you're like
yeah,
scrolling across
you can almost
the-
like see the guy moving them with his hand, and you're just like, God, our parents like watch this, and we're
Yeah,
like,
but now I gotta know. It's
fuck,
like
look at this
Bunny Man.
technology, it's amazing.
He
While
finds-
Kyle looks that up, I will get on to the next game. We have the Commanders against the Texans again. I think this is going to be a pretty good consensus.
Oh, it's Snow Miser, pretty much is it.
It was okay. I said cold miser. I was
Yeah.
close.
Close.
Snow miser, heat miser. All right, fair enough. That's who's going to win on Sunday. The snow miser. But in a game that should have better weather because it's in Houston, give me Washington.
Yeah. Give me the Commanders in this one as well.
Give
That
me-
should be
Give me Tyler Henneke. Crack open a Heineken.
going 4-1.
Very possible. Tim, you
Fuck
got
the Texans.
Tim.
Right.
Tim's going all underdogs.
All underdogs.
Hey, I like it.
No,
Tim.
no, I'm not going to Texas. I said fuck the Texans.
Oh, well, I thought you said going
Oh,
Texans. My bad. Okay, so
okay.
you're going Washington.
Right.
I mean, that's your fucking last name. You better go with Washington.
Not pick the Washington.
Right. All right. So Washington for Tim. Next up, Philadelphia coming to ruin the honeymoon for Jeff Saturday really quickly.
But I'm going to do a quick search and see if he called out the Eagles for sucking anytime soon. No, probably not.
I think he just tweeted, fuck, I don't want to coach against the Eagles this weekend is what he's going to put. Yeah, give me Philadelphia in a pretty easy one here.
Yeah, I think the Eagles bounce back and get it together. Which is
The only
easy
thing,
to put
though,
together.
And this is me being nerdy. This is me being, a little extra with my sports analysis, but that's the way my brain works. Kind of a good matchup for Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor got shit figured out last week. The run game is working. Jeff Saturday is an offensive lineman. He knows how to make holes. The big weakness for Philadelphia right now,
Run defense.
their run defense without Jordan Davis. Good time to get to expose that if you are Indianapolis. However, I just don't think it's going to happen. I
Still
think
sticking with the Eagles.
I think the luck's going to run out here. I just think the Eagles are overall.
What's the spread on
overall
that? I think
very
the
well
spread's
coached.
only- I think it's 7.
It's probably not much because Philly's the road team, so that also hurts the spread. So they're not going to
Yeah,
be.
it's -7. Right
Yeah,
now.
there. If it were a home game, I think it would probably be close to double digits. It would probably be 9 or 10 if it was in Philadelphia.
Okay.
But I'm going Philly. I
Yep,
think you
same
are
here.
as well,
Same
Tim.
here.
As much as I would like to pick the Colts again.
I mean, fucking. What is it? Double down, dude. Let it ride. as they
Yeah.
say. Let
Let
it
it
ride.
ride. We
No,
did
I-
it in Vegas. Let it
I
ride.
respect it if you take Philly
I'm
though.
going Philly.
All right, good pick for Tim. Next up, we have the Jets and Patriots, a rematch of a game from about 3 weeks ago where the Patriots somewhat embarrassed the Jets up until the end of the game. The Jets made it on paper. It looked like a closer game than it really was. They picked off Zach Wilson like 2 or 3 times. The Jets struggled to move the ball pretty much all game. Close win, but New England won the game overall. However, it was in New York. This one's in New England. Advantage the hood. Coming off a bye also. So Bill Belichick has had 2 weeks to prepare for this Jets team, but the Jets are also coming off a bye.
It's exactly why I decided to go with the Patriots because of the bye week. You gave
Yeah. You gave Belichick 2 weeks to
an
figure out
extra-
Zach Wilson.
yeah, 2 weeks to go after, especially since the Jets, and he's not a fan of the Jets at all. So-
No, he fucking hates them. I'm going with the Jets as well, or I'm sorry, with the Patriots
Yep,
as well.
he said it. Jets.
I accidentally clicked the Jets on there. That's why I said their name. I would never pick the fucking Jets. I think everybody here knows where I stand with that team. They suck. Any given chance I have to talk shit to my friends, I am going to stick with it. So yeah, I'm going with the Patriots as well. Timothy, Patriots as well. Good choice. We are all in unison on that one. Next up, we have the shitty Rams against the shitty Saints in a game that I wouldn't want my worst enemy to watch. Actually, I think Matt Stafford might be back, but even then, they still suck with him. They have no Cooper Kupp. The Saints are still trying to figure out what quarterback they want to go with. They're not a very good team. This one's tough.
Oh, you want me to lead it off here?
No, I can because you started off the last one. I
Okay.
have to think because I didn't actually make a pick yet.
I can go.
Tim, start us off.
Go ahead, Tim.
Bold prediction. The score of this game is 60 plus total.
Woo, 60 plus overall. So you're going way bet the over. Okay, I'll put that down. Tim's going plus 60.
And I got Rams.
LA Rams. All right, I'm going to go Rams if Matt Stafford plays because I think he's back. I could be mistaken. If he doesn't play, give me the Saints. But if he does, I'm going Rams.
By the way, last week, did you give me the Cardinals because I said asterisks if Stanford doesn't
I did.
play?
I gave you the
Okay,
win.
okay.
Because I did the same for both. So I'll go over that really quick because you were obviously not here. So there were 3 games, I think 3, that I put an asterisk on. I took Buffalo with an asterisk because if Josh Allen didn't play, I was taking the Vikings, but he played and Buffalo still lost. So I took the loss on that one. Then I took Tennessee with an asterisk and said if Tannehill doesn't play, I will take think they played the Broncos.
Yep.
So I was going to take the opponents, but all those guys played. So the asterisks were fine. The only one that didn't work out was the Rams, but it was kind of a wash because Kyler Murray didn't play either.
Right.
But I gave you that one as well. So yeah, you can see there. To verify, check mark for you, check mark for me. We both got the Rams, quote unquote, a win, even though it says Rams. We both technically went with the Cardinals. So I take care of everything. I even went back and double checked to make sure I didn't fuck up the numbers after I did all that. So it's legit. If you want to audit me, I have it all fucking documented here, everybody.
I'll have my broker reach out.
That's fine with me. I know what I'll tell him. So with that being said, you are up.
Yeah, so you both took the Rams. But I'm taking the Saints at home.
I'm going Rams, asterisk, Stafford, obviously.
I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking the Saints at home there.
Okay. So I'm going to have a 2-game advantage, it looks like, on Kyle. Thank you very much. Christmas is coming early for me.
All the way around.
Next up, we have the Lions, worst defense in football, up against New York Football Giants. A, I'm going to go with the Giants, and B, this is my bold prediction. I'm going 3 total touchdowns for Saquon Barkley. And I say total because they might get a little frisky against a shitty defense. Maybe throws a touchdown. You never know. I just have to make sure I put that in there so he doesn't get 3 rushing touchdowns or a pass catching touchdown and throw one, and then everyone's like, well, no, he didn't. Start anytime.
Touchdowns in general.
3 anytime touchdowns for Saquon Barkley that he's the responsible person for. That is my bold prediction. So the New York Football Giants.
And I agree with you. I am taking the New York Football Giants as well.
Okay. Tim?
Saquon's my dog. Going Giants.
Good pick. Smart pick.
You have a dog named Saquon. That's amazing.
He has 2 dogs. He has Saquon and he has Barkley.
Barkley's a great
And
dog.
the neighbors
name, by the
hate it
way.
because he was like, Barkley, stop barking. And they're like, what the fuck's wrong with this Tim guy? Does he have Tourette's?
Yeah.
They don't realize you're yelling at a dog. Next up, we have the shitty Raiders against the shittier Broncos.
Woo.
Another game that I wouldn't want my worst enemy to watch. That
A lot
game's
of
going
bad
to suck.
games this weekend.
Yeah, there really are.
I'll go first. I'm taking the Raiders.
Yeah, for me, the Raiders can score. They just can't stop anybody. The Broncos can't stop, or they stop everybody and they can't score.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of like a battle of both worlds. This one could be interesting. This could legitimately be like somebody wins on a last-second field goal kind of game. But just based on what I've seen from these teams, the Raiders can at least move a little bit. The Broncos are ass. Like their offense is I've never seen one this bad before. So give me the Raiders as well.
The Raiders.
Tim is conjuring up John Madden's ghost, and he is taking the Raiders. I love it.
However, Devontae Adams is limited in practice this week
I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be all right. Maybe.
with abdominal pains.
It's the stomach hurts from being on the fucking Raiders. I don't blame him. I wake up sick every day too if I was on that team. Yeah, Robert just got signed by the Broncos. That's how bad they are. He's their starting running back.
I thought you were the cheerleader. What are you talking about?
No. They like him with more hair. They like him hairier if you're a Denver Broncos cheerleader. And the beard too. You got to have a little facial hair in Denver. You got to keep warm in those cold winter months.
Little tickling of the,
Now you have game of the week, in my opinion, and this one should be the game of the week. Cowboys against the Vikings. I think it's going to be a great game.
I went first last time.
Oh no, I was just saying I think it's going to be a game.
No,
I
I
thought we were
think-
talking
yeah.
about like how excited we were to watch it before
No,
we
I
did
mean,
it.
I think it could be.
You have a 6-3 Cowboys battling, trying to stay in the playoff contention, and the
Cowboys-
Vikings just keep finding ways to
that-
win.
I love the Vikings this year. Their team, I think we talked about this beginning of the season, that they should have a hell of a fucking season. But
I picked Justin Jefferson as my offensive player of the year because I said this offense is going to be take another step with the new head coach,
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell, or whatever his name. I think it's O'Connell, whatever. Sure enough,
some Irish fuck.
yeah, it's oh something. It's oh shit, they're winning. I don't understand it.
Shanahan.
So kudos to them. I mean, I knew the Vikings were going to be good. Their defense is what's surprising me. Their
Yeah.
defense is really playing very well. I didn't expect that.
I don't trust the Cowboys for anything.
For me,
because
it's-
there's sometimes they get up for a team, sometimes they just don't get up for anybody.
Hot take: Cowboys are better without Dak Prescott.
Absolutely, they
So,
are.
I think we both know who we're picking here. I think I'm going Minnesota
I
personally.
am as well. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, something about Dak when he came back, it really hurt the team chemistry. I'm not saying Cooper Rush by any stretch was going to keep doing anything.
I actually think Cooper Rush could have kept it going because they were like on Cooper Rush's
They were starting to kind of figure him out defensively. Teams were right when Prescott came back, but Prescott came back, and
Robert's a big Texas fan, I guess.
oh no, they are not. You don't think they're better without Dak? I think Dak just really holds them back. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, they find ways to lose when Dak's playing for some reason.
Survey says you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying by any stretch that Cooper Rush is some savior. I just think that they would be. They remind me of the Browns with Baker Mayfield. You have this great team, really good roster. You can win some games, you can make the playoffs, but you're never going to win a Super Bowl because your quarterback just isn't that next tier franchise
I think it's a
elite
combination of
quarterback.
quarterback and coach, though. I think McCarthy's not all that either. So
Yeah, and I mean Ezekiel Elliott too. Same thing. He's a guy who one week could be an MVP candidate, the next week he's a fucking ghost.
if we talk about their run game real quick, so I think
Well,
another
In their
hot
defense,
take.
he didn't play last week. Zeke against the
Doesn't
Packers.
matter. Another hot take. I think
Mhm.
Pollard's better than Zeke.
Yeah, no question about it. When Pollard gets more touches, their offense moves better. Zeke, for whatever reason, just doesn't find holes like he used to. Could be age, could be a lot of mileage on him.
It's crazy to say that Zeke is getting old because I've
in
watched
football
him
terms,
since,
he's
like,
old. Yeah,
I've watched him since like Ohio State and everything. It's just crazy. I'm getting old too.
that's how football works, unfortunately. Yeah, give me the Vikings here on this one, Tim. Who do you got?
Have the boys, man.
You're going with the Cowboys. All right, bold pick.
What is that team from Sunday call them? That show Death
The
Blue
Death-
Star or something?
Yeah, the Blue Stars or something. I don't remember. Yeah, Elliott's just not good anymore. Dak, for whatever reason, holds the team back. I think there's some revamping that needs to be done. I
Should
saw
those cheerleaders out there on the offensive line. Those
I saw a
Cowboys.
funny meme the other day that said something like, "Finally, Mike McCarthy goes to Green Bay and helps the Packers win a game." I thought that was really funny. Then you have the Bengals and the Steelers. I think last week was kind of fluky. I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to keep up with the Bengals offense.
I'll
Give me
bet
the Bengals
I'll bet a
here.
tattoo Cowboys win. Man, you've already
I'm
lost
not
one.
putting that on one game.
You
That's
already
too
lost
much.
one tattoo to me this weekend. So
That's a hefty bet. Like you could do I'll bet you a round at the bar for one game, a tattoo. We're doing a tattoo for our whole year of picks, and you're like, fuck it. We're going all out. Grand prize for one game.
That's just Robert's style right there.
Does he go all out like that?
Balls to the wall, buddy.
I tell you what, here's the deal, Robert. If the Cowboys win, we'll let you call in the show for 5 minutes. If the Cowboys lose, you can go get a tattoo. How's that?
Okay, but shots.
All right, shots.
And there it is.
That's a good bet. We'll do drinks next time we see each other. That's the bet.
So
We'll do a virtual shake, shake, shake. That's you got to make it official. So the bet's official. If the Vikings win, Robert owes Kyle and I a shot. And if the Cowboys win, we'll get you a shot. All right.
two of them.
Yeah, one from each of us. And
We shook on if I had a winning record, you would do a set.
oh yeah, I forgot about that. So Tim and I are doing a thing where Tim's going to do some picks. How are we doing that? I didn't actually think about that since you're in. I like Tim pick too. I like that. I just noticed it. Was that up the whole time?
No, I changed it like 3 times.
Oh, I was gonna say I just saw it.
Two.
I really don't look down when we're doing the show. I just saw it. We'll do also preface the shot bet with it's the guy getting the shot gets to pick the shot. So you
Sure.
can't be like, you win, I'm getting you a fucking 151 or
Cement
something
mixer.
disgusting. Yeah.
Bleh.
You got to get something decent. But yeah, Tim and I, we were talking last week. I forgot exactly how we're going to work the numbers out because Tim's obviously starting late. But we'll figure that out
Well, no,
another
you
time.
said,
We've
you
got
said if
time.
he has a winning
If I
record.
have a winning record.
Oh yeah, if Tim has a winning record at the end of the year from doing picks with us
You're
now,
gonna do a comedy set?
I'll do a stand-up set.
Oh shit.
And we're talking possibly.
So not only
We'd like to do a Talking About Balls comedy night where all three of us would have to do something.
well, we are pretty hilarious.
We'll figure
We are
something
pretty-
out. We'll figure it out. We have
Is
plenty
it
of
the
time.
same night that you're singing a cappella or
No, because the season won't be over by then. If we get back to Lucy's, I would assume be like mid-December. The season doesn't end until January, so we'll figure all that out. Worst case, I don't know what's going on with the remote for Lucy's now. If we're going to get another one,
Do we know if they did one tonight?
They're not.
they did not tonight, so we're not sure what's going on with that. But either way, we'll figure it out. There's plenty of bars that offer karaoke. Lucy's does karaoke on other nights of the week that don't necessarily revolve around our show, so we can go there another time.
Yep.
We'll figure it all out. Back to the picks. I am going Cincinnati. Pretty easy pick for me.
Yes, I'm going. I can never pick the Steelers, so I'm going. Well, I picked them last week actually.
You did.
Oh,
Yeah, you did.
Shit, I'm going Bengals.
Corkies. I've never heard of it, but I'm down.
Bengals.
Bengals. Cincinnati for Tim. And then we go to Sunday Night Football. Chiefs at Chargers. For me, give me the Chiefs. I think they're going to win relatively easy. The Chargers are held together with fucking a Band-Aid right now. They have so many
Albert's
injuries. I mean, not even that strong. They are struggling to keep afloat. The Chiefs look like they're kind of feeling it. They're putting shit together. Even their loss to the Bills a few weeks ago
How about
was a
Kadarius-
close loss.
Kadarius Toney all of a sudden looks healed.
That's what happens. I mean, you put that guy in another team. He hated it in New York. They weren't using him properly. Clearly, they don't let Daniel Jones throw the ball to wide receivers. So that's a horrible situation for anybody to be in. Kenny Galladay wants out. Kadarius Toney wanted out. All these wide receivers hate it there because that's just the way the offense is run. They're winning, but that's also, unfortunately, the side effect of diva wide receivers. They want the ball. win or lose, wide receivers are going to be mad if they're not putting up
You
numbers.
see him adjust his glove mid ball, like
Yeah.
as he threw it up, like he's adjusting his glove. to
That's,
catch it.
I mean, he's a talent. That's crazy that they got a first round pick from last year for next to nothing.
Yeah.
Robert's calling a Chargers upset. Interesting pick. I'm going Chiefs here, I think, pretty easily. I think with the Bills losing the last couple of weeks, the Chiefs are winning. I think the Chiefs are going to pull away in the AFC here, and I think this is a good step for them.
Yeah, for sure. Give me the Chiefs here as well. Tim.
Chiefs.
It's like the voice of God in the hovering head
Love
of
it.
God over here.
I love it.
Pops in. Your
I
head-
love that.
why-
Like,
Why does your head keep getting bigger?
yeah,
when
it
you come
keeps
in?
zooming in closer.
I'm
It went from like you'd see like from like chest up to all of a sudden we're just gonna get like forehead
It's like
only
this
talking
entire
to us.
thing is gonna be just fucking Tim's head right here.
His last pick is just gonna be his hair talking to us. It's gonna be so fucking soon. And then we go to Monday Night Football. If Kyler Murray plays, could be a decent game. If he doesn't play, it's gonna be a real fucking stinker. I don't want to watch Colt McCoy getting killed by the Niners. But either way, I think regardless of the quarterback, give me the Niners.
Yeah, I think the 49ers win this one pretty easily. Plus, Warzone came out this week, so that's why he's hurt these last couple weeks.
Yeah, there's so much Call of Duty happening, new maps, probably I think double XP weekend. They have no
well,
fucking
yeah, it's
shot.
Warzone weekend, double XP.
Yeah,
starting.
definitely. Tim? As we await his triumphant.
You can't make it work.
Damn it. Are we working with Lee today?
Uh,
What's
Who was the team?
it's San
49ers and
Francisco
Cardinals.
against the Cardinals. Yes, Lee money. That's what Lee would do on Steel City. And we'd be like, Lee, the camera quality looks a little fucked up. I don't see anything wrong with it. What are you talking about? Niners for
Man, you got a
Tim.
big nose, dude.
Ain't no bat in the caves. That's nice. At least it didn't zoom in and there's like a fucking booger hanging out. So I'm happy about that.
Actually, I wish the booger was there.
That would have been kind of funny if you're like, my next pick, and you're just like
Snot rocket just
wiggling it around. All right. Now we get to the game at hand here. Buffalo against Cleveland, as we talked about earlier. Potential feet of snow. 2, 3, 4, they're saying. I mean, it could be anywhere. Who knows? It's a weird thing because the lake effect storm is
What's
supposed to
their
go.
plan if they have to push it then?
They're not pushing it because the Bills play on Thursday. They're playing on Thanksgiving. The NFL is not going to push this game. This game's happening. So it's pretty much going to be one of those things. I remember years ago, there was a terrible storm in Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken, where leading up to the game, Green Bay put out like advertisements and they went out of their way. They were like $50 a man, show up to the stadium with a shovel. And they had fans shoveling sections open. I could see the Bills doing something like that. Bills fans are crazy. They are
They're bringing their
diehard.
fucking like tables in the stadium.
I mean, there's going to be
pushing,
guys with like flamethrowers, like fucking melting the snow. They're going to burn the stadium down. It's going to be nuts. But that is a lot to think about because that's the one thing. Like people immediately just go, "It's football. They play in any weather." Sure, that's not the point here. The point now is going to be getting the players safely to the stadium, getting the Browns safely to Buffalo because this storm's supposed to be starting like Thursday or Friday,
and it's moving right across
and
the
it's
lake,
going
yeah.
all the way until
And
it's
they-
supposed
you
to
know
end.
You know they're taking a bus up there. So.
Yeah. And they're going to be driving directly into the storm that when they leave, they'll probably leave Saturday morning. That storm will be already happening for, a day or two at that point. And, just accumulating snow and just shitty weather and roads are going to be bad and accidents, etc. And I think the timeline for this, it's supposed to end at 1 p.m. on Sunday, but the damage will have already be done. Going to be weird. I'm curious to see how this really plays out because it's usually you see the snow projection go down as it gets closer. It's going up. They started off by going 30 plus inches, but it's super early. Only time will tell. So I'm thinking, okay, it's going to come down. It'll be like maybe a foot of snow, still a good amount of snow. And then today I look and you just showed me they're expecting fucking 4 feet or 5 feet of snow. It's ridiculous. So it could get really nasty. But the NFL does have to really do some magic here and figure out a way to get everybody there safely, fans included.
Could they move it to a 4:00 game just to give it time to get the stadium clean?
Maybe, but also maybe not because the Bills, I know it's going to sound stupid to people at home, but with the Bills playing on Thursday night, they could say, no, we're not pushing this back a fucking minute because we need every minute to rest before that game on Thursday. So we don't want to push it back.
Oh, they play Thanksgiving, huh?
Yes. So that they have to get this game in. That's why the NFL can't be like, well, we'll move it to Tuesday because fuck it, they play on Sunday next. But no, the Bills play on Thursday. They have no turnaround, so they have to get this game in. It's going to be interesting. Maybe they did it during COVID. Do you sacrifice and play a game in an empty stadium?
Yeah, that's the thing too.
That's really the only thing. But The NFL
There's
wants the
yeah,
NFL wants money.
Well, yeah, I mean, people are going to watch this game just for the fact
It's
that
gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
People are gonna love it. I can't wait to see other people tweeting about like the snow effect of all of it. I love this kind of shit.
And what this makes me think like advantage Cleveland almost if it comes to just a ground and pound run game because that's what we are. But
But on the flip side, that means the Bills are gonna have to run the ball. And how's our run defense?
yeah, that's also true.
So it could be. I actually maybe my uncle who I was talking about earlier who said the Bills are going to score 40. Maybe he was onto something, but it's all going to be Naheem Hines and Devin Singletary because I don't think Josh Allen's going to throw for much.
That Duke Johnson out there last week too.
They did, yeah. They have Duke. He's probably
they dusted him off the fucking.
Yeah, they got to use him because they don't have Zach Moss anymore, so they're finding anybody to play.
I thought I misheard things when I heard his name called
he's
out.
still there.
He's
Still
there.
available.
Duke Johnson. Okay.
David Johnson actually just got signed today by I think.
Jesus, I thought he died too.
I thought he's been out of the league for like 2 years, but somebody picked him up for the practice squad today. I forgot who. It might have been the Texans or something. I don't
Speaking
remember.
of
But
practice squad, you see Callaway got picked up.
yeah, Antonio Callaway to the Cowboys
Yeah.
picked up for the practice squad. Don't think he'll amount to anything. I mean, he's bounced around from team to team. His career's all but done. Weather aside, if it's nice, if the weather's report is completely wrong and it's a beautiful sunny day, give me the Bills. If it's a 4 foot, 5 foot snow shit game with the snow miser, give me the Bills. I'm taking the Bills one way or another. Truthfully, the only way the Browns can win this game is by some fluky shit. The weather does need to be horrible. We need to cause turnovers. Like, we're going to need some fucking magic to win us a game because the Bills are good. The Browns are not. They just don't play that well.
And it's not like a team's coming in from Tampa Bay to 5 feet of snow.
Exactly.
Teams are both used to playing in cold.
Buffalo, especially just last week against the Vikings, even, it was shitty. It was rainy. It was cold. It was kind of snowing. These cities are used to playing in that. Advantage Bills, in my opinion. So, and they're just overall the better team, and I can't pick the Browns until the Browns show me something. So,
I wonder what the over under is right now with this weather. But
they might have frozen it. I didn't, pun intended. I didn't see, but they might have frozen the line because of the weather. They need to wait and see because the spread's going to change. It's going to change, like you said, the over under. It's going to change the weird things you can bet on of like over under passing yards for players.
It's 8 right now.
The spread, which is fair. But for like the other things, I wonder if they're not going to let people bet on it because it could have like Josh Allen over under 250 yards passing. If it's going to be 4 feet of snow, give me the under. You know what I mean? And that's free money.
Smell those? Oh, get in there! Come on, get in there.
Yeah, Kyle didn't shower today.
Come here.
I've been meaning to say something.
Put your head down here a little lower. Keep coming.
So yeah, I'm going Buffalo. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo as well.
Okay, Tim.
I go Browns.
All right.
And I'll tell you why. We always lose the game. We always win the games we should.
True. If we win one, it's going to be this one.
And this is going to be the game that we win. I think we win the next two until Watson.
I could never be a weatherman. This is hard. There you go. He's moving too far away.
We got a cold front coming out here. It's really dark.
It's going to be a balmy 76 right here. And if you look in this corner, the winds are coming from northeast, southwest. And I don't understand how they do that. I'd be so fucking backwards.
A total eclipse of the sun right here.
The total eclipse of my heart. All right. So those are your picks for this week, everybody. I'm looking to take the lead here. We have a couple differences, and we're going to start the new Tim Pick 2 and see how that goes. I like that. And it is time now for just the tip and kind of teased what Tim was going to talk about, but we're going to let him kick it off and tell you guys all about what he's got going on this weekend that I will be at. If you've ever wanted to hang out with me and Tim, at least, because Kyle, I just found out today, is not going to be able to make it. He's got some prior engagements. He will be at Lee's show, but that's not the important part that we're talking about today. The important part is our man Tim Buck 2 headlining. Take it away, my friend.
And I am headlining the Funny Business Show. Wrong button.
Either one works.
I think this is gonna be a great show. Not because I'm headlining, which I'm excited to do. But the lineup here is just knockout. I swear to you. I Am Chad is a headliner himself. Ulysses Dickerson is a headliner herself. GW Nell is a headliner herself. Keith Silly is a crazy headliner. And Sean Boyd, who's been doing comedy for, I believe, the longest up here, is a headliner. So to have all of these in front of me, which I think I'm the weakest part of this lineup, and I don't plan on being the weakest that night.
I like it.
That night is going to be amazing. November 18th, this Friday. Doors open at 7. I believe the show starts at 8. It is going to be hosted by Dynamite Dave and Lex Vegas. Sponsored by Dynatech. It's going to be at Lucy's, man. Lucy's have a great place. They're a great place. Their drinks are reasonable. the food is reasonable and it's really good. Like I enjoy my time every time I go there. We might even do karaoke because they do supposed to be doing karaoke on Fridays. It's going to be a great night. So if you want tickets, I do have tickets. They're $10. Come out, kick it with us, see some people, man. I'm telling you, you're going to have a good time. I promise you. If you don't have a good time at this show, then you can smack me in the face if you want to. I swear to you, I'll take that smack.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I can't wait. For the record, I hope Dave's still watching out there in Mormonville, but when I come strolling in late halfway through the show, I'm VIP. I'm not paying. There better not be some fucking guy at the door asking for money because I'm going to tell him I'm with Redline Radio. My man Timbuktu, the headliner, I'm on the list. I get in. That's what happens when you're A-list. You get on a list, and that's what's going to happen for me on Friday night. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see Tim finally. I've been trying to see Tim do stand-up for quite some time now. Last week we were hanging out after the show, and he was playing me clips. It was fucking awesome. I can't wait to see it in person. I'm really excited to do that. So come check it out on Friday night. Again, I will be at Money's Crazy Mind from 8 to 9. And then I'm going to be showing up at Lucy's. So I'm going to miss a little bit of the show the first hour or so. But go there, support Redline Radio, support all those great comedians. Cleveland has a great comedy scene. Go check all these funny people out and support Redline Radio. Go say what's up to Dave. Tell him to get us more remotes. Tell him to share our show more. Tell him to get a water cooler.
Oh yeah, water.
Get him. Tell him to. I'm just trying to think of things I can. I just want people to just make Dave uncomfortable on Friday. So I'm trying to think of anything I can think of. But in all seriousness, though, go check it out. Go check out the show. And now, with that being said, Kyle's pick or tip.
Tip. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but the World Cup of football starts on Sunday.
I try to forget.
And for all of us soccer fans. So I was browsing through Netflix, got back from Vegas, and I was just trying to, watch something to kind of like relax too. And this show popped up. It's called, was it something FIFA? Yeah, FIFA Uncovered. And it's a 4-part episode, 4-part series. It's basically about how corrupt and fucked up the organization of FIFA is. And for those who don't know, FIFA is the organization that runs and controls soccer from all around the world. And it starts off with all the way back in the early days when it was first created, I think like 50s or 60s, to its first or second World Cup where they had in Argentina. And back then, if you didn't know, Argentina was a dictatorship. I think it might still even be a dictatorship. I'm not quite sure.
I really don't know.
I forget. But it's the dealings they made with the dictator at the time to get the World Cup there, and the money that they basically was bribed with, or he bribed them with, started off this entire like rundown of how FIFA's done dealings over the last 50, 60 years. And then from there it moves to basically all through history, all the bribes and how they come to Congress like we have Congress here and vote every 4 years on a new president of FIFA. And the same guy's been in power now for the last 20 some years. And if you're not aware, 2018 it was in Russia, and now it's in Qatar, which is in Saudi Arabia. Which, what do those two things have in common? Dictatorships. So it basically talks about the fact that it's all bribed. Everyone gets paid off to have these hosts in their cities, and it's because of all the money that brings into the cities, the dictatorships, the leaders, all the money they get handed out to them. Funny story is, in 2026, it's actually the United States. So not sure if there were some salty dealings that took place there, but it's a good show. Highly recommend it, especially like the conspiracy theory, whatever. But back in 2020, they made 14 different arrests of the entire FIFA panel of people for embezzlement, for racketeering, for basically it's legit a mob front for
that's what it sounds like. It's like The Sopranos or something.
It's a good show. They're 45-minute episodes. I'm 3 into it right now. But yeah, with the World Cup starting on Sunday, this is probably worth watching. This obviously Netflix, perfect timing for this, but it's worth a watch. You can check it out.
I'll check that out. I've been watching a lot of the documentary things on Netflix.
Netflix has been hitting pretty well to documentaries lately with certain topics. I think you want to watch.
Like I was telling Kyle, I watched the Dream Team one. I don't think anybody's talked about that. That was really good. The Redeem Team. That was great. I learned.
Let's give the ball to Kobe team.
I learned so much about that. Like the negative remarks people have about like the young group that was there the year that the United States lost, like LeBron, etc. Everyone was like, "Oh, these guys suck. They couldn't beat anybody." And then you realize it's because they were thrown together at the last minute. The Larry Brown, the coach, didn't want to play any of the young kids. The practices were terrible. Like there's a lot more into it than just watching these guys and expecting them to be great at basketball.
They're no dream team.
No,
but
But it's funny though that like that's how people look at it. They're like, LeBron's not better than Jordan because LeBron didn't win the gold in his rookie season in the Olympics. It's like, well, watch this documentary, you'll learn that Larry Brown didn't even want LeBron on the team. He didn't want him playing. He kept the rookies off the court. There was no teamwork. There was no camaraderie. Nothing. The Redeem Team really dives into that. I learned a lot. It was really, really a great documentary. And then the Tim Donaghy one, like they're doing really good shit. I hate soccer personally. I don't give a single fuck about it, but I might watch this because I like the Mob.
It has nothing to do with actual like
Yeah.
doesn't show any kind of soccer playing really at all. It really
I'm
just
into
digs
I'm
deep
into
the
crime.
shit.
I'm into embezzlement. I'm into shit like that. So I'll check it
You'll-
out for that
you'll
aspect.
like it, yeah.
My tip this week is a fun movie with the Foo Fighters, who I'm not even that big of a fan of, but they did a horror movie called Studio 666. It's available on the Stars app if you have it. It does feature every member of Foo Fighters, obviously in happier times because the drummer was alive when they made this movie. It's a good movie though. It takes place in a house in California, whatever. The Foo Fighters are looking to record a new album, and Dave Grohl's like, we need to find the ultimate place. And they go to this house. Turns out that like 20 years ago, there was a murder there for like a cult thing. The house is pretty much like haunted. But the movie doesn't take itself serious. It's very stupid and cheesy at times, but in like a very fun way. And it's truly all those guys on there are the Foo Fighters. That's the whole band. They star in the movie. It's got Whitney Cummings, the comedian. It's got Jeff Garlin in it, the actor that I'm sure everybody knows. It's got some actual like people in it. But it was a really good movie. It was really fun. Didn't take itself serious at all. And that's what I really like about that. If you're going to make a horror movie and it's going to be super cheesy and dumb, at least own it. And they did that. It was actually a fun movie. They play some cool music in it. The acting is stupid and tacky. And there's like so much product placement. Like they have fucking Doritos and like Pepsi in every scene that they clearly got a lot of money for to do that. But that's what makes it funny. Like the dude in the hat there, he's always like, they don't show him getting high, but you could tell all these guys are just like fucked up doing the movie. And they're just like eating Doritos and shit. Like it's just a fun movie. It really is.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this, I was quickly scrolling through the pictures you sent over today for the show, and I thought this was legit like a new Foo Fighter album you were gonna like.
No, it's a movie that
when
they
the
just made
fuck
as like
do
a
you
joke.
Listen to the Foo Fighters.
No, I'm really not a big Foo Fighters fan at all. I mean, I respect them. Kudos to any band that is successful. But this movie came out, and I was like, man, it's Dave Grohl, it's Foo Fighters. What do I care? But it's on Stars.
Stars, okay.
Yeah, the Stars app. That's where I watched it. I mean, I'm sure if you have, close your eyes, government, FBI. But if you have an illegal thing, I'm sure it's on something. You can watch it for
we
free.
just got canceled now.
No, I paid for it. I watched it with my own money. I have the Stars app, but it was really good. It was fun. So check that one out. I thought it was a good watch.
Oh, yeah, dude.
On behalf of everybody at Talking About Balls, that's going to do it for us. Trust me, I know disco. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm almost starting to think we need 2.5 hours now for the show.
Not pushing our limits.
I'm just
here.
kidding.
Dave might have a heart attack.